For one last time this week, way out here on the East Coast, we have some Florence Y'alls baseball coming up at 3:30 p.m., a later afternoon Sunday start, as Florence will try to salvage a game in the series against Brockton. That had their 11-game winning streak snapped and their 6-game series winning streak snapped in a loss yesterday. Both of those coming on Sac Flies. We welcome everybody in here to the broadcast booth at Campanelli Stadium in Brockton, Massachusetts for another light crowd and another very toasty afternoon here out in Brockton. Florence, that first series loss was also the first series win in over 3 weeks for Brockton. It was a team that was coming in here ice cold against a team that could not have been hotter in Florence, and Brockton just has played really good baseball over the last couple of days. They've used a lot of small ball to dominate Florence. The offense, though, for Florence, much improvement despite the losses from earlier this week at Sussex County. To the first 2 games of this series. They scored just a total of 10 runs in the 3 games at Sussex County. Give them a total of 17 now in the first 2 games of this series, but obviously you're going to see a flip of the coin of that too. The pitching was outstanding. You had great starts from Yannick Villalobos, Evan Webster, and Nathan Lawson to start this road trip out in Sussex County. The Florence offense just surrendered 4 runs that entire 3-game series. And the first 2 games of this series now, 11 runs in extra innings on Tuesday and 8 runs yesterday for a total of 19 runs in just 2 games. So that's a 14 or 15 run difference still with 1 more game to be played at this series. So it's just been a tale of 2 totally different types of series here in Brockton and out on this East Coast. Only 4 losses since the All-Star break for Florence. They're 17-4 since that break. They're still playing unbelievable baseball despite the last 2 losses. It is interesting, though. Every single loss feels like a back-breaking one. There have been the 4 losses, all of them by 1 run. One of them a 6-run lead blown, one of them a 5-run lead blown, and then these 2 in this series where obviously Florence did a lot of job fighting back, climbing back into games, and the pitching staff just could not hold it in each of the last 2 games. It'll be the final game against an Atlantic Conference team for Florence. After this, that's just 4 weeks of baseball, all against the Midwest Conference as they try to keep that playoff spot. They are 8-3 despite the last 2 losses against the Atlantic this season. They would love to make it a beautiful 9-3 record in their 12 opportunities interconference this season. We talked about the Brockton small ball that has just been killing Florence. Stole a lot of bases on Zach Beadle yesterday. And obviously the 2 sacrifice flies are what did Florence in. Florence has left a lot of runners on base the last couple of games. 8-7 the final yesterday after C.J. Blowers had to exit, giving up 3 runs in the first 3 innings. When he started the 4th, he got a comebacker at about 87 miles an hour right off the throwing arm and immediately showed to the dugout like he was going to have to exit the game. So Florence had a lot of ground to make up with that bullpen after Chase Hopewell gave him just 2 1/3 on Friday. This is a bullpen that has been very spent for Florence. Obviously played 19 innings of baseball the last couple of days, but you did not have to pitch in the bottom of the 9th, so kind of just your typical 18. They're going to have to piece things together, and they are really ready for that off day. But it is John Gerard getting the start for Florence, another southpaw, the 2nd in a row that will face this Brockton offense. Looking like it was trending that way anyway. Didn't know if there was a chance that they might open for him, do something with Jet Lotus, but Lotus was used in both of the first 2 games of this series out of relief. He is most likely down today. 3 starts for Gerard and 4 appearances so far in his time in Florence. 5 innings in each of his last 2 starts, 5 and 4 earned runs respectively. Last time out was against Gateway, where he gave up 4 hits, walked a couple, struck out 5. The home runs have been the tough part for him. He's given up 5 home runs and a total of just 3 of those starts. Florence won one of those games against Gateway and lost one of them, the last 2 starts for Gerard. He does have that relief appearance that came against Windy City on the road. It was really shaky. He loaded the bases with less than 1 out with, I think it was the go-ahead run at the time. Got a double play to get out of it. Florence took the lead at the top of the 9th. Gerard went back out there for the bottom of the 9th to get the save. He loaded it once again, but got out of it, and Florence took that series in Windy City. Somebody who's, again, hard contact has been the biggest thing for him. He's done really good handling his command. Just a couple of strikeouts in his last start, and it is just that typical. He'll have some really good innings. There are a couple 1, 2, 3 innings in all of his starts so far, but some innings that can kind of come and bite him and just pile on top of each other. So he will look to get off to a little bit better start. That first start against Joliet was great through 4 innings, but then they left him out there for a little bit too long probably in that 5th inning. Ends up with a 4 2/3 line of 8 earned run baseball. That is what is hurting his line right now. It's sitting at a 9.72 ERA on the season. Florence will take on the Brockton ace, and Jimmy Gillerin will have more on him as he faces the Florence lineup to start this game. We're going to conclude the 50 West Brewing pregame show and have first pitch coming up right here on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. National Anthem has been sung, and we conclude the 50 West Brewing pregame show. 50 West, the premier brewery in the Cincinnati area. At 50 West, every beer is a journey. Join us for the ride. Located at 7605 Worcester Pike in Cincinnati. Florence going for win number 46 on the season. They sit at 13 games over 500 currently, and they're going to have a tough task against the best pitcher out of the rotation for Brockton. Jimmy Gillerin, a 2.54 ERA this season. He has not let many runners on base, a 1.27 whip. He has a split amount of, starts and relief appearances. He was used mostly as a long reliever to start the year. He was so good in that role that they wanted to start him, and he was, in a situation he picked up pretty much right where he left off once he got into that starter's role. 4 innings last time for him. I'm not sure why he got pulled after 4 innings. He gave up just 2 runs to Ottawa. Did walk 4 batters. There was traffic on the base paths in this one. But overall, there's not a lot to capitalize on. The walk numbers are pretty low. He doesn't strike out a whole lot of runners or a whole lot of batters. Just in 56 2/3 innings pitched, 34 strikeouts. This is obviously a Florence offense that has been prone to the K a lot this season. A little bit this road trip, too, even with the runs that they've scored in this Brockton game. They've been striking out quite a bit. Got 4 home runs in the series. One of them came yesterday on a solo shot from Hank Zeisler. Zade Richardson, Marcus Brodell, and Brett Blomquist all hit one back on Friday. This lineup is the exact same outside of the 9-hole hitting catcher for Florence, again, with the limited lineup that they have here on the road. It's Milo Rushford leading things off in left field. Brett Blomquist batting second at second. Hank Zeisler, the captain, batting third, playing first. Zade Richardson batting cleanup and DHing for the 6th straight game. Brenton Bobo bats fifth at plays right. Garrett Broussard batting sixth at third base. And then Marcus Brodell at center, Dylan Baker at shortstop, and Kyle Harbison doing the catching, batting ninth for Florence. In comes Milo Rushford. Gillerin comes set, working out of the stretch, and first pitch strike on the outside corner. With first pitch coming in right at 3:36 p.m., about 6 minutes behind schedule. They've been a good bit behind schedule in each of the 3 games of the series. Changeup misses outside. Ball and a strike on Rushford is 1 for 9 this series with a pair of walks. The only Florence batter to not reach back on Friday. 0 for 6 with a strikeout in that game. Off speed misses off the plate at 90 miles an hour. That was probably a fastball, but it had decent movement on it. Pullets Rushford ahead 2-1. Fastball up. Kirigaka is calling the balls and strikes today. And Florence in their road red Kentucky jerseys. Brockton with their home white pants and navy blue uniforms. And it's a 5-pitch walk to start things off for Milo Rushford. Just 18 walks in 56 2/3 to this point for Gillerin. Been a big reason. Again, you look at the whip. He just hasn't let a lot of runners on base. Big reason that he's been great this season. Now Blomquist. He's got a homer and 3 RBIs in this series. 3 for 9. Squares around a bunt down the third base line. It's foul. We have not seen that much from Blomquist or anyone for Florence for that matter. It's something that Brockton has been doing extremely well, just moving runners over. Florence trying to give them a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. But Blomquist obviously one of the best hitters on the Florence team this year at .318 batting average. Rushford can run well over at first base. Slider taken off the plate by Blomquist. Really good eye. A ball and a strike now. From Gillerin is trying to settle in. Again, pitching out of the stretch. No matter if there's a runner on base or not, he started that way. This one's punched foul up into the seats. I might be able to count how many fans are in the stands today. A really light crowd here at Campanelli Stadium. This Brockton team is 17th out of 18 teams in the league in average attendance. Last night was one of their best attended games, with it being boxing night. Fastball just misses again at 90 on the outside part, so a 2-ball, 2-strike count for Blomquist. Florence trying to fight off the sweep. They haven't played many of these game threes. They've either been going for a sweep or having a rubber match in game 3 of a series. Blomquist fouls one over to the Brockton dugout. Got to go back to the second to last series before the break. Florence was hosting Washington. That was the last time they were playing a game 3 of a series, just looking for one and trying to fight off a sweep. They lost that game. Curveball left upstairs. Really slowed it down at 76 miles an hour. And the count's now full on Blomquist with Rushford off at first base and still nobody out here in the top of the first. The payoff. Fastball cranked out to left center. Still going in a sprint for Kretzel. It gets behind him all the way to the track. Rushford is around third, and he will score before it's thrown in. And that's how Florence gets started. An RBI double on the second batter of the game for Brett Blomquist. His 4th RBI of the series. 1-0 Yalls. This park plays a little deep. The outfield was playing pretty far in on Blomquist. He's hit already a double deep into that same direction this series. and it was just a long run for Kretzel. So a walk and a double to start things off against Gillerin. Florence is struck first for the first time this series. Actually, no, they had a 2-0 lead on Friday. That's right. So they didn't strike first yesterday. Brockton did. Florence did as this one gets away on a pitch that's a strike but dropped by Bender behind the plate and lets Blomquist get over to third base. So they lost when they struck first on Friday, lost when Brockton struck first last night. They did strike first in all 3 games of the series against Sussex County, so now 5 for 6 in scoring first on this 6-game road trip. 0-1 pitch. He's in the inside corner again here on Hank Zeisler. Hitting .364. Numbers looked just video game-like coming into the week after a Player of the Week honor last week. It slowed down a bit against Sussex County, and then yesterday another great game as he gets hit on the knee on a 1-1 pitch. A little bit fortunate there for Brockton, maybe too. If that got behind him, that was surely going to score a run. But Blomquist will have to go back to third bases. Zeisler's plunked. Runners on the corners here with nobody out. Prime opportunity for Florence to keep adding on with Zade Richardson coming to the plate. Blomquist at third, Zeisler at first. Richardson with 47 RBIs on the season. First pitch change up inside. He's also got 3 RBIs in the series. How about this? Just he's 6 for 9. And he showcased some power too. He's got a home run and a double. And 4 singles. Kind of just doing it all in this cleanup spot. And he's plunked. Right on that shoulder looked like a 78-mile-an-hour slider. And ran inside. Back-to-back hit by pitch. Loads the bases. Already won in the inning with nobody out here in the first. Mound meeting for Brockton early in this game as Florence looks to keep applying some pressure. We have not seen this much from Gillerin. Again, a 1.2 whip. He has really handled teams well this year. Florence trying to take a little bit of frustration out. And they would love to give John Gerard a nice cushion before he has to go out and pitch. Just a 3-man meeting right now with Brockton pitching coach Derek Bender, the catcher today, and Gillerin. Defensive alignment here for Brockton. Tommy Kretzler out in left, Austin White in center, Evan Slight in right. Evan Giordano plays the hot corner. Keegan Calero at short, Marola at second, and Wold at first base with Bender doing the catching. Quick mound meeting, and Brendan Bobo with the bases loaded and nobody out, already a 1-0 lead in the top of the first against Brockton. Takes a first pitch, just below the knees for ball 1. He's got 56 RBIs on the season, 2 of them coming in this series. In the first 5 games of this road trip, he's had 4 multi-strikeout games, but he's still making an impact at the plate. Takes another one outside. Now he's up 2-0. So Gillerin has not looked sharp from the jump. It was just a 5-pitch walk to Milo Rushford that started it off, and Blomquist hit that double, and he's plunked the next 2 batters. Would probably settle for just a sac fly or something of that nature. Blomquist behind a fastball on the 2-0. That one pumped in there just at 88. Gillerin had taken a couple ticks off of it. "12 homers on the season, batting average staying around 280 on the year for the Florence right fielder." Out to left. Kretzler back at the track, looking forward. He's got it right in front of the wall. It's deep enough to score a run as Blomquist jogs home. The throw comes into third, and Zeisler stays put at second. So Florence takes a 2-0 lead, but Gillerin gets the first out of the game on a Brandon Bobo sac fly, his third RBI of the series, 57th on the season. And Garrett Broussard, inning not over yet. First pitch ball, outside 76-mile-an-hour slider. That's runs number 52 and 53 on the season of the first inning for Florence. This one's punched down the right field line, a wrong one for Slight, and he's got it at the line. That will allow Zeisler to tag from second to third, but a couple of deep flyouts here for Bobo and Broussard. One scores a run. This one gets Zeisler over. It's 2 outs now for Gillerin. Still with runners on the corners, and Brendan Bobo, who's had a monster series at the plate. 2 outs in the inning now. All 4 reached, and the first 4 for Florence. A walk, a double, and a couple of hit by pitch. 2-0 here in the top of the first. First pitch to Bobo is way outside. Bender comes out of his crouch to keep that at front. 5 RBIs on the series for Bobo, or for Brodell. 3-run home run on Friday. A sac fly in that game as well. He had an RBI single yesterday. Takes another one way outside, 2-0. Couple of fastballs there, nowhere near the zone. Gillerin's allowed just 1 hit in this inning. But the Stonehill graduate got a chance to settle himself in if he can get out of it here. Leave it at just 2 runs. Punch foul down the third base line for the first strike of the AB. Brockton came into the series 2-8 in their last 10 games, needing a boost. There were 7 games out of a playoff spot before Friday. They make up a game with these 2 wins, now 6 games out. Backdoor slider, called a strike. Even 2-2 count on Marcus Brodell. Deuces are wild here in the first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runners on and already 2 across for Florence in the first. Fastball up and away, counts now full on Brodell. Zeisler over at third, Richardson at first base, Dylan Baker on deck. No shift for Brockton for the lefty Brodell. He's got 5 of his 8 homers this season on lefties. Payoffs outside, the bases are reloaded. Richardson was off on the pitch. He gets to second. And Brodell will get to jog on down to first, the second walk of the inning, including 2 hit by pitch. And Florence brings their 8th batter of the inning to the plate on this long top of the first inning. It's Dylan Baker. Became the 4th Florence hitter with double-digit home runs this season. Back on Thursday against Sussex County. First pitch is a strike, 88 miles an hour. Fastball in the outside bottom corner. Had a 3-hit day yesterday. Curveball up, leaves it alone. 1-1. Florence has been outscored in the first inning this season by 6 coming into today. 57-51. 1-1's high of the zone again. Puts Baker ahead. Zeisler at third, Richardson at second now, and Brodell over at first. Kicks and fires the 2-1. Grounder over to the third base side, picked up at short and bobbled, but it's still a flip to second in time for Calero. Well, he almost costed Brockton a run, but Gillerin gets out of it, just allowing 2 after the first 4 reach of the first inning. Florence has got a lead. A Brett Blomquist RBI double and sac fly as we go to the bottom of the first. The Frontier League Network, powered by HDN. Out comes John Gerard already with a 2-run cushion for the Florence Yalls. Last time they'll face the Brockton Rocks this season. Bottom of the first, always brought to you by Heritage Bank. At Heritage Bank, we believe your money should work as hard as you do. Visit heritagebank.com or stop by a branch near you today. A Brockton offense that has scored 19 runs the first 2 games of the series against Florence. Florence has jumped out first. A Brett Blomquist RBI double and Brendan Bobo sac fly gives Florence a lead. White squares around a bunt. He has done that almost every plate appearance of this series. Pulled it back. First pitch is low. He's had a pretty good series so far. He's 4 for 9. The league leader in stolen bases as Gerard lands a slider right down the middle of the zone. Batting average still sitting below just 300. Slider now on the outside corner, called strike again. Couple of them in there to get Gerard ahead of this count now 1-2. Gerard comes into this game with an ERA, give it up a little over a run per inning. This one's popped up and out of play. 9.72 ERA, 3 starts and 4 appearances. He had the 2-inning appearance in relief against Windy City a couple of weekends ago. Mike calls timeout right as Gerard comes set for the 1-2. We see the leadoff hitter do this pretty much every single at-bat. Anytime he gets to 2 strikes, he'll get into the box, get ready where it looks like the pitcher's about to start his windup and then call his timeout to mess with his timing. 1-2 comes home, a grounder over to the first base side. Hank Zeisler picks it up. A little bit of a stumble by first base. Still over to step on the bag to record out number 1. Pretty solid offense for Brockton this year. A lot of their struggles have come for the pitching staff. Got a league worst 6.18 ERA. OPS about league average, though, on the offensive side of things. 1 down for Derek Bender, another Brockton All-Star. He goes after the first pitch and fouls back. Playing catcher today. It's his 3rd start. It's one of those catchers that's just such a big piece of the offense that even when you give him a day off in the field where he doesn't have to catch, you still want to DH because you need him in the lineup. Big swing and a miss on a fastball blown by him. Just 87 miles an hour there from the rookie Gerard. And now Baker calls his timeout. Count's gone 0-2. Gerard back into the rotation when Florence had a 7-game week in 6 days last week. Went downstairs, swing and a miss for Bender, but it gets to the backstop, and Harbison will not have a play over at first. A drop 3rd strike on the second batter that Gerard faces. It was a changeup that was just put low, and Harbison couldn't handle behind the plate. That's how Brockton gets their first base runner of this game. Bender's not an incredible runner, but trailing by 2 in the first, it's 1 on, 1 out for Scott Seeker, who fouls one towards the Florence dugout. A lot of guys in this Brockton lineup that are sitting right around that 300 mark. White's hitting 296, Seeker at the plate hitting 298, Giordano on deck at 297. And Keegan Calero's hitting 9th today. He's had a great series. He's actually above 300 at 301. Fastball way upstairs, 1-1. 5 innings for Gerard last time out. 4 earned run baseball. Got burned by the long ball again. A couple home runs in those 5 innings. Walked 2 batters. Change up way low and outside this time. Put Seeker ahead of this count 2-1. Really light crowd from Campanelli Stadium today. Fastball up and away, finds the zone. It's Seeker immediately kind of rolls his eyes at the call. 2-2. Bender over at first. Foul ball. That is what Brockton has done so well this series. Florence just has not had that put-away pitch. Brockton's worked really long at bats. Only struck out 4 times against Florence pitching yesterday. Gerard goes to first and Bender goes to second, and they got him and a run down. Girard to Zeisler over to Baker at second, and Bender is off the base paths. Base running mistake there on a really good pickoff move after he reached on a drop third strike. 2 gone in this bottom of the first. Now the bases are empty, and the count is still 2-2 here on Scott Seeker. Girard set at his chest. Fastball no good. Count is now full. Seeker, an NAIA All-American at Georgia Gwinnett, one of the best NAIA programs. Lefty on lefty battle. Slider spoiled behind the plate again. Try another payoff pitch. Florence has already won their first series, or Brockton rather, has already won their first series in over 3 weeks with that win yesterday. Swing and a miss on the payoff pitch. This one in the dirt again, but Seeker will not run to first. Couple of strikeouts, including a drop third strike, and runner caught into base paths. And very unconventional 1-2-3 bottom of the first for Girard. 2-0 Florence going to the second on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Umpire intro is brought to you by Pella Window and Door. Looking for a clear view of every call? Trust Pella Window and Door, bringing you replay-worthy clarity and craftsmanship you can count on. Pella Window and Door, so good even the ump won't miss a thing. Akira Gok is the home plate umpire today, with Miguel Cruz, the crew chief, over at first base, and Will Naleski at third. Back at Campanelli Stadium for another beautiful afternoon, and Florence already on top in the top of the second, a 2-spot in the first, and a 1-2-3 bottom of the first. Jimmy Gillerin back out to the mound for Brockton. He spoils the first pitch outside to Kyle Harbison. Harbison, the only Florence batter that did not hit in that long first inning. Takes fastball right, like down the middle of the plate. It's called a ball. That connected on TrackMan. Good chunk in the zone. Harbison getting the call. A 2-start series for Harbison after a 3-hit game on Friday. Goes after a pitch way outside. First strike of the AB, 2-1. He's been playing a lot better baseball as of late, Harbison. Batting average all the way back up to 280. It was 300 for a good chunk of the season before he went a little over half a month without a hit. Fastball caught a strike on the outside corner. Counts now even on Harbison. Couple of walks, couple of hit by pitch in that first inning. Just one hit for the 2 runs from Gillerin. Changeup, Harbison launched out to left. Kretzler going back, and that's over his head. And one hops the wall. Harbison sprinting to second. He jogs in there. A standing double for Harbison to lead off the second. His 4th hit in 6 at-bats of the series. So, the 2 hits so far today for Florence. both doubles, Blomquist and now Harbison. And again, Florence in business, trying to add some insurance. Back to the top of the lineup, a Milo Rushford. First pitch, no good outside. Fastball, 86 miles an hour. We've already seen that fastball. It's about 4 miles an hour of variance. It was up at 90 the first couple of at-bats. Gallerin. Another fastball up and away. 2-0 on Rushford. Got that rally started in the first with a 5-pitch walk. 7 homers on the season with 37 RBIs. Leaves a slider alone down the middle of the plate. 2-1. Rushford with Tucker playing likely his last game of the season on Thursday with Florence. Schoenfeld still dealing with that injury. This is going to be Rushford's spot leading off. He's led off the last 3 games, all 3 of the series. Fastball called a strike again on the outside corner. Rushford yet to take the bat off his shoulders, this AB. He has been a leadoff hitter for much of his career. If you look at the numbers this year, they don't scream leadoff hitter. An okay batting or on-base percentage, a little bit below 400. Fastball again on that outside part, couldn't catch a piece. All fastballs in this AB, and the count is now full with a runner on second and nobody out. What he does have is power. 7 home runs on the season, including one back on Thursday of this road trip. Gallerin looks at second, and now will step off. Give an extra look to Harbison without a throw before coming home with the payoff. It is just pretty unique that your leadoff hitter's got the lowest batting average in the starting lineup by about 14 points now, too. Payoff pitch is outside, ball 4. That's what a leadoff hitter does right there, get on base. His second walk already in 2 innings. Florence with a couple on once again.
Number 12, Brett Blomquist.
And it brings up Brett Blomquist, who got the scoring started in the first with an RBI double. 2-0 Florence. Threatening here in the top of the second. First pitch right down the middle of the plate. Again, 86 miles an hour on that fastball. Blomquist's 53rd RBI of the season in the first. This one's cranked out to left. Kretzler back at the track. See ya! A no-doubter for Brett Blomquist. He's got himself 4 RBIs in the first 2 innings of this game, and it's 5-0 Florence in the second. Just got a pitch to hit inside, and Kretzler barely moved. That was one of those ones where you turn around, you take a step. That building out there in left field that's pretty close to the left field wall, that might have hit the roof of that building. 14th homer of the season for Blomquist. Sitting comfortably now in second on the team in long balls behind the man at the plate, Hank Zeisler. Change up right down the middle of the plate for a strike on the first pitch to Zeisler. So 3 hits to open this game up for Florence, and they've scored 5 runs already. It's 2 doubles and a home run. 2 of the hits coming from Blomquist. Fastball way outside, a 1-1 count. And this is an interesting spot here for Brockton. It goes both ways. You would have said the same thing if Brockton had, or if Girard has troubles in the first couple of innings. Both teams have used a lot of their bullpen. Zeisler swung for the fences and barely got a piece. I think at the mask of Akira Gok, the home plate umpire. Every relief pitcher has been used in this series for both teams outside of Danny Heinz for the Florence Yalls. And now the Brockton trainer is going to walk out to see if Gok needs any assistance. I think he's okay. Just needed a minute to walk it off. 1-2 count after the fly ball or foul ball for Zeisler. But Both teams desperately needed their starter to give them some length. No Florence starter made it out of the fourth in the first 2 games of the series. Hopewell and then Blowers. Zeisler back in for the 1-2. Fastball again, fights it, fouls it back. Florence comes into this game with about a 10-game better record than Brockton. 45-32 for the Alls. 35-42 for the Rocks. Another 1-2. Fastball grounded to the right side. A long run for Wold. He picks it up, throws across his body, and Gillerin covers in time. Really good play from Wold at kind of an awkward angle to retire Zeisler for just the first out of the inning. Now brings Richardson up to the plate with 1 out. They're just nonstop. You know, there's almost like that. I don't know if you can hear it on the broadcast, but you know, like those noisemakers you get from New Year's Eve or for a birthday. There's a birthday party here at Campanelli Stadium, and that's just all you're hearing throughout the stadium because there's like 100 people here. First pitch off the plate to Zade Richardson, who was hit by a pitch his first appearance. Slider left alone outside again. 2-0. And they're just getting louder and louder. There's not much you can do about it. Fastball, Richardson grounded to the third base side. Picked up by the third base line. A throw to first and a really good pick by Wold over at first base. 5-3 ground out for Richardson. Giordano to Wold. So after Florence scores 3 with that and out of the second, couple of ground outs with nobody on. Florence a 5-0 lead over Brockton just in the top of the second. Now it's Brendan Bobo, who has the only RBI today that's not Brett Blomquist's. He takes a first pitch fastball outside. Sac fly out to left that was hit all the way to the warning track that Kretzler tracked down. Now he unloads on 1 out to left center field. That ball still carrying, and it gets behind White's head. One hops the wall once again, and Bobo jogs into second. The third double of the game through 2 innings for Florence. This time it's Bobo. Another one at scoring position for the Alls. 97 off the bat. Deepest part of the park, it went 378. As this park plays, I would say about average, you know, depth, but the fences out to right and left field are both really short, especially out to left. But all of Florence's home runs this series have kind of been no doubters. Broussard with a runner on second at 2 out. First pitch fastball up 1-0. Flight out to deep right his last time up. Didn't score a run. Moved a runner from second to third. Swings and pops one behind home plate up near us. I have a chance at a ball this series, and I've actually gotten decently close to getting one in the press box, almost directly behind home plate. And I am above the netting and far enough back that there's plenty of room for one to travel. I've seen it right next to me. 1-1 fastball up. I'm not good with pressure. I almost don't want one to come near me because if I don't make the play, I would never be able to sleep again. That's just the kind of athlete I was. I never wanted the big moment, ever. Bobo off a second. Gillerin comes home with a 2-1, and it gets behind him. Hits hard off the backstop. There's going to be a throw from third, or to third from Bender. Bobo is into third safely. But that was close. 72 miles an hour, a pitch that just slipped out of the hands of Gillerin. Bobo 90 feet away now. 2 outs of the inning and a 3-1 count on Broussard. Comes home with a 3-1. Swing and a miss. Full count. Florence scoring just 10 runs in a sweep of Sussex County earlier this week. They've now scored 22 We're in the second inning of game 3. Popped foul out of play down the first base side. Payoff pitch spoiled. We'll do it again. And Gillerin has obviously, with the action, given up a lot of thrown a lot of pitches so far. His 62nd pitch of the game coming up as he tries to get out of the second. Fastball, chopped second base side, picked up right by the face for Marola. Makes a nice play and throws on a first hit time. Get out of the inning. 3 more for Florence, once again, courtesy of Brett Blomquist, his 14th homer of the season. They take a 5-0 lead to the bottom of the second on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Well, John Gerard's got quite the cushion back here at Campanelli Stadium in Brockton, Massachusetts. Last time, at least in the regular season, that Florence will be on the East Coast this season. If you wanted to call it the coast. I think we're about an hour from the beach, maybe. I don't know. 5-0 lead for Florence after Brockton's ace, Jimmy Gillerin, is just blowing up a little bit the first couple of innings. Needed 62 pitches to get out of the first 2, giving up 5 runs on 4 hits. 1, 2, 3. A weird 1, 2, 3 bottom of the first for John Gerard. A couple of strikeouts, one of them being a drop third strike. He was thrown out on the base paths that inning. Now the cleanup hitting Evan Giordano shows bunt, pulls it back, pitch in the zone for a strike. Giordano playing third base today. Fastball fouled off the mask of Harbison. This starting lineup has been exactly the same in terms of batting order and who's been in it for Brockton. The first 2 days, and then just one change today. They go with Nick Marola to play second base instead of former Y'all Eddie Javier. They do some rotating with the catcher and DH, but really with the same guys outside of that second base position. Giordano down, no strikes, 2 balls. Gerard out of the windup. Fouls another one back. Brockton in those home Navy uniforms they wore both Friday and now today. 0-2 grounder over to shortstop. Dylan Baker backhands it, throws to first. Nice hard throw in time for out number 1. Couple of strikeouts, couple of groundouts now for Gerard. Springs up Evan Slight, former Alabama Crimson Tide. He's had himself a nice series. Couple of big base hits. 3 RBIs on the weekend. First pitch low. He's got one of my favorite home runs to tell in this stadium. For Florence Y'all's very own Rory Teddemer. Fastball left off the plate. Ball and a strike. That's right. Rory was pitching here at Campanelli Stadium when Brockton Rocks was a summer collegiate team. Fastball up. And said he was cruising, and really only blemish was the Evan Slight home run. I haven't seen the box score, so I don't know if that part's exactly true. you know, probably gets better and better each time he tells the story. Just misses low on the 3-1. And Slight works a 5-pitch walk. One on, one out, near the bottom of the second for Brockton.
The left fielder, number 14, Tommy Kretzler.
Brings up Tommy Kretzler. 2025 Frontier League All-Star. Gerard a close eye on first at Slight. He swings first pitch. It's up and out of play. I think Rory said that came in about the third inning he faced him. What it probably was at first was he probably came in to face two batters. He got the one out, then gave up the home run. Each time he tells the story, fastball down the middle of the plate, you just add one out to the appearance. So a couple of seasons, you know, this is like Evan Slight probably broke up a no-hitter of Rory Teddemer on that home run here at Campanelli Stadium. Collegiate Summer League. Out of the stretch, the 0-2. Just off the plate. Pretty good looking pitch there from Gerard. But it did miss on track, man. 86-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-2. Fouled back. Florence is still trying to figure out a little bit what to do. I think somebody just made a nice play. And the Sweets next to me. Again, I could get a ball here. The Sweets are literally right next to me. And the net is the exact same. But still trying to figure out exactly what to do with that fifth starting spot. This one's hit a mile in the air. Shallow center field. Both middle infielders go it back, and it's Brett Blomquist to make the play for out number 2. This probably would be in normal circumstances. It's Yannicker Villalobos' spot of the rotation. I'll go with 6 different starters on the 6-game road trip. I think with the travel and how many games Florence has played, what did it give Villalobos, and pretty much not just him, you give everybody some rest if you just add this spot into the rotation. Villalobos will throw on Tuesday. 2 outs, 1 on. Here in the bottom of the second. Slider connects on the outside quarter to Jack Thomas Wold. So you'd assume if they keep the same rotation, it'll be the exact same week series starters as this one's punched out to center, and it does drop in for a base hit. That is Wold's first hit of the series after an 0-for-8 start. Brockton's got a couple on base for the first time. Comes with 2 outs and the first plate appearance for Nick Marola of the series. But you'll likely see Villalobos on Tuesday, Webster on Wednesday, Lawson on Thursday. Those 3 have been dynamite their last few starts. Feel really good about that series going into it against Lake Erie. Again, they could shake things up with a rotation that's not officially set yet, but that's kind of how it's projected right now. First pitch to Marola is a slider downstairs. Marola playing second base, taking the spot of Eddie Javier Jr., who had a couple of big moments in this series against his former team. Played just 20 games for Florence last year. 214 average. Fastball popped up out of play. 1-1. You kind of feel like you have 4 spots set for those 3 guys we talked about: Villalobos, Webster, Lawson. Blowers has had some really good starts. Still waiting to see if he is all okay after taking a line drive off of his throwing arm, as this one's punched out to left, but right at Milo Rushford. He gloves it for out number 3. Couple come on in the bottom of the second for Brockton, but still nothing home. It's all Florence, 5-0, going to the third on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Florence all over Brockton in Game 3 of the series. They have brought the bats in the first two innings. 5-0 lead. 4 of those 5 RBIs thanks to Brett Blomquist. Gerard has worked a couple of scoreless innings. We're here at the top of the third. First pitch to Marcus Brodell is in there for a strike. Always brought to you by the Roar Agency, located in all 50 states across the nation. Feel the Roar difference with Roar Insurance. And visit us today at roarins.com. Curveball misses out. Ball and a strike on Marcus Brodell. Bottom third of the lineup here for Florence. We'll also play September. Howler trivia. Wow. Force a habit. I have been calling it Howler trivia the first 5 games of the series. Brodell lines one out to center field, but White's on the run, and he has a beat to get it. First time that Florence did not get the leadoff runner on base. The one out. Today's Howler trivia question. Probably be the final Howler trivia, as Rory will be back with you for the third innings for the rest of the season. Just put it on Twitter. You can reply on Twitter or tweet at me at @big_Ben Howler, or comment on the YouTube live stream. Text me if you got my personal number. Strike on the outside corner, first pitch to Baker. Since 2010, 4 different pitchers have finished a season atop the AL in wins. So they've led the AL in wins in multiple seasons. Fastball upstairs. Done it multiple times. Who are they? My hint, 2 of them in the West, 2 of them in the Central. One's outside. So 4 different pitchers since 2010 in the AL have led that league in wins in multiple different seasons. Who are they? 2 AL West, 2 AL Central. Slider in. Also add some context with the hint that one of the AL West has done it with both an AL West and Central team, but he did it twice with the AL West team. 3-1 fastball misses in, and a 1-out walk here for Dylan Baker. So we're talking about leading a season in wins for the AL. 4 pitchers have done it multiple times since 2010. 2 of them in the AL Central, 1 of the AL West, and then 1 pitcher that's done it in both the AL West and AL Central. First pitch, a slider outside of Kyle Harbison, who's 1 for 1 with a double. Runner on first, 1 out, 5-0 lead for Florence in the top of the third. Rory, if you're playing and listening, don't miss your exit on the trying to type the answer, as Harbison punches foul. Just got to the story about Evan Slight homering off of him. And what he said was a good outing before that. He corrected me to say it was 3 2/3 innings. And the home run from Slight came in the last inning. Slight batting 5th, playing right field for Brockton today. Runner takes off for second base. Pitch outside. Baker's got a good jump, and the throw is not in time. Swiped bag here for Dylan Baker. To move into scoring position. It's Baker's 6th stolen base out of 7 attempts this season. Runner on second with 1 out now. 1-2 pitch to Harbison is grounded over to third. Waiting at second, Baker retreats. Throw across the diamond is picked at first from Giordano to Wold. Keep the runner put at second base and get the second out of the inning. Turns it to the top of the order in Milo Rushford, who's walked in his 2 plate appearances today. Give the answer to Howler Trivia in the bottom half of the third. Since 2010, 4 different pitchers have finished atop the AL in wins multiple seasons, multiple times. 2 AL Central, 1 AL West, 1 that's done it in both the AL Central and AL West. Fastball out, first pitch to Rushford. Baker really dancing around at second. Nobody's holding him on. Gillerin steps off the bag to pay some extra attention there. Rushford would love to join the party. Florence's 4 hits today, 2 of them from Blomquist. A double from Harbison and a double from Bobo are the other 2. Slider in, 2-0. will step off again, already using his second disengagement of the AB. 2 outs. Might see Baker try to take third. Comes home. Rushford cranks to center. Over to his right is White. He's under it for out number 3. Get your answers in for Haller Trivia. I'll give the answer in the bottom of the third. Florence scoreless for the first time in this game. They're up 5-0 over Brockton on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Bottom of the third, Florence leads 5-0 over Brockton as John Gerard is out for a third inning of work. Let a few runners on base, just the one hit today, but nothing across for Brockton. Still playing Haller Trivia in the inning. Answer, or question I should say, is on Twitter. Since 2010, 4 pitchers have finished atop the AL in wins in multiple seasons. 2 AL Central, 2 AL West. Got a couple of answers in. 9-1-2 in the order for Brockton. Keegan Calero, the shortstop, who has just provided a lot and given Florence fits in this series as a 9-hitter. 3 for 5, walked a couple of times, stolen 3 bags in the series. Starts off 1-0. Now punches one out to right. Brendan Bobo has a couple steps to his left before he catches it on a line. Hard fly out to complete one time through the order for John Gerard. Back to the top. Start reading some answers. We don't have many. Wyatt Sherman decided to play today. He says Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, Corey Kluber, and Max Scherzer. Rory's still trying to figure out his final answer. First pitch slider at the knees. He got one correct earlier this week, but it was because he gave 2 answers to a 1-answer question. Check swing for White. This one in the zone, 1-1 on the leadoff hitting center fielder. He says he's got Kluber and Verlander locked in. He'll go Cole too, but he's iffy on that. Fastball way up and away. Puts White ahead of the count now 2-1. One time through the order for Gerard, 2 innings and a third, no runs, 1 hit, a walk, and a couple of Ks. Winds and fires the 2-1. This one served into center. That's actually the shortstop, Dylan Baker, who sprints back to make that play. All the way in shallow center. 2 down in the bottom of the third. We'll start, or give you the answer. Give Rory a few seconds if he wants to put a 4th answer in. This is going to be a battle to see who gets more, I guess, from Wyatt and Rory. 2 outs, nobody on for the big righty Derek Bender. First pitch, top of the zone. Rory locks in Kluber, Verlander, Cole, and Skubal. All right, so those are the 2 answers. This one's roped just foul past the third base side. Since 2010, 4 pitchers have finished at the top of the AL in wins multiple seasons. 2 AL Central, 2 AL West. Thought there were some easy ones in there. Justin Verlander is the only one to do it 3 times. He did it in 2022 with the Astros. Fastball swung on and missed. That's a strikeout. Gach didn't know the count for a second and called it a regular strike, but it was 1-2. We'll get you the answer in the top of the 4th, but Gerard's 3rd strikeout. Strands a runner on, and we go to the 4th. Florence leading 5-0 to the Frontier League Network, powered by HDN. Jimmy Gillerin settled in a little bit in that 3rd inning after giving up 2 and 3 runs in the first 2 innings and giving Florence a 5-0 lead here in the top of the 4th. A 1-out walk, but he got out of it. Now it's the 3rd time he's got to face the meat of this Florence lineup. Blomquist, Zeisler, and Richardson to start the top of the 4th. 5-0 Florence lead. That's Brett Blomquist. He's got 4 RBIs. An RBI double and a 3-run home run today already. 2 for 2 with his first 2 plate appearances. Takes the first pitch, slider low. Be really interested to see how hesitant Gillerin is to put one in the zone to the Florence second baseman. Also, get to the Haller trivia answers here in the top of the 4th. Fastball in again. Wyatt Sherman battling Rory Teddemer. Wyatt said, get back to it on Twitter, Verlander, Cole, Kluber, and Scherzer. This one's bounced over to short. A nice play, but a throw offline from Calero. And E6 will let Blomquist reach for the 3rd time today. Runner on again to start another inning for Florence offense. Hank Zeisler coming up. So he says Verlander, Cole, Kluber, Scherzer. Rory says Cole, Kluber, Verlander, at Skubal. Did say that Justin Verlander was the first answer. He was the only one to do it 3 times. Twice with the Houston Astros in 2022 and 2019, and then once in 2011 with Detroit. Zeisler first pitch gets all the way to the backstop. Slider outside. Blomquist up to second. 1-0. Blomquist at scoring position. He also did it in 2009, but again, since 2010 is what we were talking about. He had 19 wins in that 2009 season, 24 with the Tigers in 2011, 21 with the Astros in 2019, and 18 with the Astros in 2020. Foul ball, and a strike on Zeisler. In 2017, Corey Kluber had 18 wins with the Cleveland Indians at the time, and 18 wins in 2014 to lead the AL there. He has done it twice. Max Scherzer in 2014 with the Detroit Tigers, and the year before, 2013 with the Detroit Tigers. 18 and 21 wins in those seasons, respectively, to lead the league. So Wyatt got that one. Rory did not. Fastball outside. Wyatt is 3 for 3 so far. Rory just 2 for 3, and Rory can't win at this point because they both said Cole. The fourth and final one that I knew was going to be the hard one, the most surprising one to me. In 2012 and 2014, leading the AL in wins with the Los Angeles Angels, Jared Weaver. 18 wins in 2014 and 20 wins in 2012. So Wyatt gets 3, Rory gets 2. Wyatt is crowned today's winner. 3-1 count on Zeisler in a 5-pitch walk. His fastball's way outside. Stephen Gregg says, let's keep it up, y'alls. I would agree, Stephen. And my mom actually got it an answer for my dad that did get in. I just didn't see it. Tweeted the last second. There's a mound meeting coming up, and I think this is actually going to be Jared Edmondson to make the pitching change. The lefty warming up right now for Brockton. He's giving him some time. My dad's answer, Skubal, Bieber, Hamels, DeGrom. 0 for 4. Edmonds has still not made the mound meeting officially, and now will give the point. With runners on first at second and nobody out here in the top of the fourth, a Florence lead. 5-0. That's going to be all she wrote for Jimmy Giller, and Florence gets to the ace of Brockton. We'll look to add on a Hooves Hang Out pitching change of the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Hooves Hangout, call to the bullpen for Brockton. Looking for the perfect spot to relax and open your favorite baseball or Pokemon trading cards. Visit former Reds reliever J.J. Hoover at Hooves Hangout today. 405 Washington Street, Suite D in Alexandria. Second appearance of the series for the lefty, Ben Smith. The inherents runners on first at second, trailing by 5 here in the top of the fourth. Zeta Richardson at the plate with nobody out. Backdoor slider, lands in the middle of the zone for a strike. Florence might be happy to see Smith. They got to him. He was the first out of the pen back on Friday. Through one inning, that was who Florence got 3 runs on to come back and bring it within 1. Ended up tying it up in that inning. Fastball outside. Let the first few runners on. A Garrett Broussard RBI single. Then the next 2 on. Or the next batter on before he exited. The first batter that the next pitcher faced gave up a 3-run home run, 2 of those runs belonging to Smith. Looks at second, now comes home the 1-1. Way inside, but Richardson swings and fouls it towards the Brockton dugout. A hit by pitch and a ground out to third so far for Zaid today. By the way, they have not indicated on the scoreboard at least if it's an error or a hit on that Baker or the Blomquist play to short. They don't have any errors for Brockton, but they didn't give Florence a hit on it, so still waiting to see what the official ruling on that is. Smith ahead 1-2 on Richardson. Change up outside. Pretty good looking pitch. Didn't miss by much. They do call it a single on a I score for Blomquist. That'll give him a 3-hit day. And the 5th hit for Florence today. The 2-2. Fastball away again. Counts full on Richardson. Smith, a 6.51 ERA this season. 0-2 in his only 2 decisions. They have used him a lot recently, but just 27 2/3 innings on the season. Long hold before the payoff pitch. Outside again. Single, walk, walk. First 3 batters here are the 4th for Florence. They're in business again, loading the bases with nobody out, already a 5-0 lead. Florence would love to put this away. Again, with their pitching situation, we've seen them, not be too comfortable with a 5-run lead. They've already blown a 5-run lead and a 6-run lead since the All-Star break. That's 2 of their 4 losses. But now Brendan Bobo, it's already got a double and a sac fly today, comes up with the bases loaded and nobody out. Lefty on lefty matchup from Smith. First pitch front door slider is low and in the dirt. Bobo struck out twice in each of his first 2 games of the series, but still has produced 3 for 9, a couple RBIs. Give him 3 now after the sac fly. Just trying to get more and more comfortable against lefties on the year. Takes another 1-0 slider. This time it's in the zone. Even 1-1 count. Blomquist at third, Zeisler at second, Richardson at first. In his inning of work, Smith only threw 23 pitches. Maybe we could go a couple innings today. Bobo punches it through the left side of the infield. That'll score at least 1. Blomquist comes home. Zeisler is stopped at third base. Throwback in from Kretzler. Station to station for everybody. 6-0 Florence now as Blomquist comes around to score. He has now reached and scored in all 3 of his plate appearances. That's now the 2nd RBI for Bobo. He's got himself a 2-for-2 day. Bases still loaded with nobody out for Garrett Broussard, who's in a little bit of a slump. 1 for 8 in this series. Did have an RBI single against Smith back on Friday. Leaves the first pitch alone, a slider out. Wyatt Sherman, our winner of Tedimer Trivia today. How about him betraying his teammates? We usually get a answer from the Florence Analytics Twitter account. Not really any of the individual ones, but Wyatt went on his own today. 1-0, Broussard down the third baseline. That'll score another. Zeisler home. Richardson sprinting for home as well. Bobo's into third. A 2-run RBI single for Broussard. They keep breaking it open here in the 4th. It is now 8-0 Florence. And that's a big one for Broussard. His only 2 hits of the series to this point. Both bring in runs. He's got 3 on the series now. 50 on the season. Still nobody out in this inning. This could potentially be on position player watch with just how many pitchers Brockton's used the last 2 games. Do have the off day tomorrow. See how much Smith can give him. 5 of Brodell's 8 home runs have come against lefties this year. He hits with runners in the corners and nobody out. Cold strike on the outside corner and a slider. Bender almost overthrows the lefty. Smith getting it back to the mound. That was a front door slider that had really good movement and looked like a good pitch. Did connect at the top of the zone on TrackMan. Not called by Gawk. Smith not getting any favors here. Still just looking for the first out. That one is called. Pretty much same exact spot. Smith does well against lefties, but overall not a strikeout guy. And about 30 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts. He has more walks than Case, 24 walks on the year. Had in this count 1 and 2. Another slider. This one misses in. He's gone all sliders to Brodell. Someone who, I don't want to say his reverse splits. He does have good numbers against lefties, but he also has good numbers against righties this year. But they are a little bit better in smaller sample size against lefties. Played all 3 games of this series. 2-2's inside. Comes back with a fastball. Counts full on Brodell. So this inning has gone leadoff infield single for Blomquist. Back-to-back walks to Zeisler and Richardson. And back-to-back RBI singles for Broussard after Bobo. Payoff pitch. High in the air, foul territory. Giordano on the third base side will run out of room as it gets into the seats. So 2 of those runs will be charged to Gillerin, who will exit today. Going 3+ innings, 5-hit baseball, allowing 7 runs. Another payoff. Slider outside, ball forward to Brodell. Bases reloaded, still nobody down, top of the 4th. Brings up Dylan Baker. Let's take a look at some scores around the league on the iScore out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Thornbush Whiskey. Thornbush is the new frontier in the world of whiskey. Bold, smooth, and wildly unexpected. Come try the new official cocktail of the Florence Yalls at Thomas More Stadium. Bobo at third, Broussard at second, Brodell at first. First pitch in there for a strike to Baker. All B's right now for Florence. Evansville going to be the team you're looking at. Florence tied with them at second place in the division, first wild card spot. They have a 2-0 lead early on Washington in Washington. Slider in. Like Florence, trying to avoid the sweep after Washington shut out Evansville yesterday. Windy City, Gateway, still the 2 teams closest, chasing Florence in that wild card spot. Bouncer over to the third base side at foul. Windy City's out east. They don't get started till 4:45 today. They're in a similar spot to us where they're going to have to go home after this trip. I thought 3:30 was late before this long drive home. Windy City's got a 4:45 game coming up at Tri-City, just about to get underway. Joliet and Gateway play tonight at 6:15, so Gateway and Windy City still yet to play, both of them. 1-2 count here on Baker. Backdoor slider. Looks like Gawk was going to call strike 3. He does not. That ball was fully in the strike zone. And some of the Brockton people in the dugout are fed up. The shortstop, Calero, still has both arms in the air, just openly saying, where did that miss? Keeps Baker ahead of the count 2-2. Down by 8 with the bases loaded, nobody out. That's a tough call to not get. Inside again, way low. Count has run full on Baker. Smith is yet to record an out since he's come in, a walk and a couple of RBI singles. And another walk to Brodell. Payoff. This one's cranked foul. A little early on at Baker. Count will stay full. Good pitch to hit, 90-mile-an-hour fastball, top of the zone. 10 homers on the season now for Baker. 53 driven in. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. That finally got that pitch on a backdoor slider this time. Gets the first out of the inning. Leaves the runners put. Still loaded. And the 9-hole hitter Kyle Harbison coming up, 1 for 2 with a double and a ground out to third. Mississippi and Schaumburg are just getting underway in Schaumburg. That game just started, so no score there yet. Lake Erie won a slugfest, 15-4 against Down East. Backdoor slider again. This time it's the first pitch to Harbison, and it's in there for a strike. Some Atlantic scores. Sussex County trails by 3 to New York. In New York. Trois-Rivières got a 2-0 low-scoring win over Ottawa in Ottawa. 0-1 pitch, top of the zone, no good. And then New Jersey and Quebec. Battle of first-place teams in each of the Atlantic divisions will get underway at 6:50. A lot of Sunday night games. 1-1 with 1 out here, bases loaded. Harbison gets a piece, it sends it back to the backstop. Down to the count now, 1-2. Florence will come home next week and start what will be a lot of time seeing the Lake Erie Crushers. 9 games the next 3 weeks between those two teams. 1-2 again, foul ball, this time into the Brockton dugout. Pitch way out of the zone that Harbison just got a piece. 8-0 Florence lead to the top of the 4th. This game has already eclipsed about an hour and 25 minutes, and John Gerard has still only thrown 3 innings. A lot of long breaks for him in the dugout. That can mess with you. Kicks it, fires the 1-2. This one's popped up medium depth left. Kretzler going after it. So is White, the center fielder. And Bobo will tag from third and score without a throw. Sac fly for Kyle Harbison. Make it 9-0 now, Florence. And Milo Rushford is the 9th batter to come to the plate for Florence in the inning. All of them have hit. 2 outs in the inning now. If he gets on, they'll bat around. Already the 4th plate appearance in 4 innings now for Florence's leadoff hitter. Other runners stayed put at their bases. Broussard at second and Brodell at first. 2 down, 2 on. 4 across in the inning for Florence. First pitch, strike right down the middle. 91 mile an hour, another lefty on lefty battle from Smith to Rushford. Rushford walked his first 2 plate appearances and flied out to center to end the 3rd. The only scoreless inning for Florence so far. Breaking ball runs in and backs him off the plate. Well, so he came up with 2 outs, the game-tying run at first base yesterday. Got about a 92 mile an hour fastball right off the foot, and it really took him a minute to everybody to check on him to make sure he's okay. And you don't have a whole lot of options right now on the bench for Florence. That one inside again, up near his arm, backs him off the plate. 2-1. They were kind of joking about that after the game, after he was all okay about, yeah, no matter what, he's got to stand there. Only bench option for Florence today is Zach Beadle. Tyler Schoenfeld, Jackson Tucker not on the trip. We did see that last Sunday where Beadle had to come in to catch. Harbison had to go to first, and Zeisser had to go play left after Rushford was ejected. Swing and a miss to the 2-1. Fastball by him. 2-2 count with 2 outs. 2 on. 9-0 Florence here in the top of the fourth. Smith, deep breath out of the stretch, inside again. These are all really close to hitting him. That slider just didn't break as much as Smith wanted. Counts full. Brett Blomquist, who's had a big day, is standing on deck. A triple away from the cycle already, and it's only the third inning. Payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. Well, chance for Blomquist to really make this a fun stat line. Bases loaded at 2 outs. A single, a double, and a home run for him so far. The single coming in this inning as Edmondson's out. And I think he might take the ball from Smith, and he does. Another Hooves Hangout pitching change. Ben Smith cannot make it out of the fourth. Florence has a 9-0 lead. New pitcher coming into the game for Brockton on the Frontier League Network, powered by HDN. Hooves Hangout pitching change for Brockton. Looking for the perfect spot to relax and open your favorite baseball or Pokemon trading cards? Got to visit former Reds reliever J.J. Hoover at Hooves Hangout today. Tyler Thornton with the bases loaded at 2 outs. He will face Brett Blomquist. First pitch is a fastball. No good inside for ball 1. Blomquist is 3 for 3 today. He's got 4 RBIs. He's a triple shy of the cycle. And we are here in the top of the fourth inning. 9-0 lead for Florence. He fouls one back. Ball and a strike. Again, just keep wanting to confirm that play over to short. It was ruled an infield single as opposed to an error on I-score. They have not given Florence the hit on the scoreboard. They haven't given it an error either. Just kind of did nothing after it. Thornton fires the 1-1. This ball is popped up on the infield down the first base line. The first baseman Woldover, he's got it for out number 3. Thornton faces one batter and leaves the bases loaded, but 4 more in the inning for Florence. It's 9-0 going to the bottom of the fourth on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. John Gerard's been sitting for a while. After Florence, 4 of their times to the plate, they've scored multiple runs. 2 in the first, 3 in the second, and a 4 spot of the top half of this inning. We've reached the bottom of the 4th. Gerard, 3 innings through scoreless, just 1 hit and 1 walk. He's got 3 Ks. Heart of the Brockton lineup, Scott Seeker, Evan Giordano, and Evan Slight. Seeker 8 homers at 51 RBIs this season. Is time called before the first pitch? I think there was a gate open down the left field line near both teams' bullpen. That's what it was. Both teams' bullpens are next to each other out in left. Brockton down the line. Florence is next to it, pretty far away from their first base dugout. First pitch, Gerard throws of the inning is low to Scott Seeker. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Slider out. Came up to the plate the first time. There was a runner on first with 1 out. Eventually ended up getting picked off at a 2-2 count. Next pitch, Gerard got the strikeout he needed. Down 2-0. Now this fastball is crushed out to right, but right at Brendan Bobo. He's got it on the run. Scored the first out of the inning. 5 straight retired here for Gerard. Florence has a 9-0 lead at the bottom of the 4th. Evan Giordano comes to the plate. It's the first time that Florence has been able to hold Brockton scoreless for 3 innings consecutively this series. Lefty on righty battle. First pitch to Giordano's in for a ball. 4th season in the Frontier League for Evan Giordano. He's been 2 with Sussex County, 2 with Brockton now. Numbers vastly different with each team. Gerard throws another one outside this time. We're at a 680 OPS in both of his first 2 seasons with the minors. It's been over 800 last year and this year now when he's come over to Brockton. We talked about it a lot in Sussex County, how hard it is to hit over at Skyland Stadium. Just plays so deep. It's a 4-pitch walk here to Giordano. Fastball in on back-to-back 2-0 pitches. Jogged down to first base. Second walk of the game here for Gerard. Not much movement in the Florence bullpen right now, nor the Brockton. It's going to be Tyler Thornton here on forward. Thornton, probably the worst reliever Brockton has number-wise this year. 10.48 ERA. Here's Evan Slight with 1 on, 1 out. First pitch, top of the zone's got the infamous home run on Rory Teddimer in this ballpark when the Brockton Rocks were a summer collegiate league club. Apparently was 3 2/3. I said 2 2/3. Slider in, 1-1. Rory corrected me that inning to say 3 2/3. I actually think he just corrected me right now to say 4 2/3. Just keeps going up and up each time until Slight breaks open his perfect game. Fastball at the knees is called a strike. I would need to see a box score from this game to really believe. Gerard's ahead 1-2 here. Throws over to first, another good pickoff move. Florence lefties, they've got some pretty good pickoff moves. We saw it from Isaac Bilburn. That was called a balk. That there's one call in baseball that I'm not going to argue about too much. It's probably the balk swing and a miss. Tipped into the mitt. And Gerardo's down on strikes for Gerard's 4th strikeout. Giordano. Out of the 4 strikeouts for him, all 4 have been swinging. And, of course, one of them was that drop 3rd strike. It's Tommy Kretzler with 2 outs and a runner on first base. Brockton trying to score their first run of the game. It's 9-0 Florence. Florence is just trying to salvage a game of the series. Brockton has already won the series. A couple of 1-run wins on Friday and yesterday. No balls, a strike on Kretzler. He ropes one out to left field that will dunk in for a hit. Rushford fields it on a hop. Hard turn at second from Seeker. He's back. Just the second hit of the game for Brockton. The first was off the bat of Jock Thomas Wold, who is coming to the plate right now. Runners on first at second at 2 outs. He will call a time before the first pitch he sees. Wold, a big guy, big frame over at first base, and we've seen him make some pretty nice plays over at first. Spent some time with High A St. Lucie, the New York Mets organization. Wants to go out for the first pitch. Left it alone. It's fastball in the zone for a strike. Gerard has been solid in a couple of his starts. He's looking for his first really good start. This ball's pumped out to right in the air, but Bobo's got a beat on it again, and he's got it on the run. Gerard strands another couple. Florence scores 4 in the inning. It is 9-0 going to the 5th with Tyler Thornton back on the mound. The Frontier League Network powered by HTN. Tyler Thornton came in at the top of the 4th with the bases loaded at 2 outs and got the 1 out he needed on a pop-up to first. But it's Florence with a 9-0 lead. 7 hits for the 9 runs for Florence. Fair share of walks from Brockton pitching today. Zeisler starts off the 5th. Breaking ball, called strike on the outside corner. Final line for their ace and starter, Jimmy Gillerin, goes 3+, giving up 4 hits, 7 earned runs on 4 walks. He did not strike out a batter. Zeisler throws his bat out there, fouls it off, it's down 0-2. Zeisler, a ground rule double in his second plate appearance yesterday that tied the franchise record for all-time doubles. He is 1 away from breaking it. 76 doubles in his Florence career. We're getting towards the tail end of this record watch for Zeisler. The only one besides doubles that he'll probably break this year should be games played, as long as anything doesn't happen. Fastball in 1-2. But now you could start looking at single season record watch. 16 hits away from the single season record, 10 runs away, 6 doubles away, 2-2 fastball out. Actually, that's 1-2. It makes it 2-2. And he is 7 RBIs away from the single season record. Thornton gets the sign, the 2-2. Fastball, cranked, out to right, deep and gone. Zeisler's got 20. Florence a 10-0 lead. A deep shot out to right. Back-to-back games with the homer for Zeisler. Back-to-back pulled shots. Offense just keeps pouring on against Brockton here in Game 3 of the series. He said it was the 20th homer of the season for him. That's the 85th RBI on the year. Still leads the league. Pitch top of the zone, and Zeisler just did not miss it. 10-0, Zade Richardson to the plate. Nobody gone in the top of the 5th. Fastball down the middle of the plate for a strike. So Brockton honestly played this series well. They really unloaded their bullpen. They didn't leave guys in for long in the first 2 games, just went after both games, and they went their way. Left bare for this Game 3 of the series as Richardson pops up shallow right. The infield will get it. Second baseman Nick Marola for the first out of the inning. It's the 13th home run of the season given up by Thornton in 48 innings. That leads the team over any of the Brockton starters, too. 1 out, nobody on for Bobo. He takes the first pitch, deep to left, at the track, looking up, and forget about that one. Off the scoreboard, second homer of the inning. Couple of solo shots from Zeisler, and now Bobo. And Florence has an 11-0 lead. Just teeing off on Brockton right now. I mentioned could be getting to position player watch. Thornton's kind of that last line for Brockton. Their least used bullpen guy who's got the worst numbers on the year. Home run number 13 on the season for Bobo. Slider misses inside to Garrett Broussard. 2-run RBI single his last time in the 4th. I was told coming in to this series by the Brockton staff, the Brockton broadcaster, Quinn Alexander, that balls do not fly here. Called strike middle of the plate. Well, Florence is now at 7 home runs in the 3 games of this series. 3 on Friday, 1 yesterday, and now 3 today. And now Broussard lines one deep to left, but camping under it, Kretzler's got it. 4 out, number 2. Solo homer, pop up, solo homer, now line up. Here's the top of the 5th. Boy, those noisemakers keep going out here. They're sound like kazoos. And I did find out it's not a kid's birthday party. It's actually one of their mascots' first birthday party here for the Rocks. So they're doing some fun things with that. 2 outs, nobody on for Brodell. Slider outside part of the zone, a strike. Their mascots are named KO and Champ. I think Champ is the one who has the birthday party today. Slider in the dirt. Obviously all playing into the rich boxing history of the city of Brockton. We saw boxing night last night. Both teams wearing promo jerseys. Florence was the Marcianos to honor Rocky Marciano. 49-0 career boxer. Undefeated career. Fastball up to Brodell. And Marvelous Marvin Hagler, that was Brockton Rocks. Both teams wore black uniforms with pictures of each respective boxer. Big swing and a miss for Brodell. Obviously Florence with Marciano's across the chest. Brockton with Hagler's across the chest. The jerseys looked extremely similar. Florence had red numbering. Brockton had blue. This one's roped through the right side of the infield into right field. Third hit of the inning, a 2-out single for Brodell. Third time on base in 4 plate appearances. I mean, how about this from Brodell? After Jackson Tucker, no longer with the team this season, after the New Jersey road trip, Brodell comes in. He's 5 for 10 on the series with 5 RBIs. He's reached 7 times. I think that 8 times. Dylan Baker with a runner on first and 2 outs. He's played a pretty good center field, too. Florence has had their issues in the outfield this weekend, no doubt. Part of it being the playing surface here at Campanelli Stadium. Baker went downstairs to chase after the off speed, missed it 1-1. Balls have really done some unexpected things. Infield looks really beat up. I don't know if you can see it on the HTN camera. Soft squib grounder over to third. Giordano goes the easy way to second to get out of the inning. Couple more for Florence. Hank Zeisler, Brendan Bobo leave the yard. It's 11-0 Y'alls halfway home on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. John Gerard back out to the bump for Florence with a 11-0 lead halfway home in this game in the bottom of the fifth now. Gerard 4 innings through scoreless, just 2 base hits for the Brockton offense. And the 8-9-1 part of the lineup, Nick Marola starting things off, playing second base for Brockton today. Fouls a pitch off after seeing one of the zone. Down to an 0-2 count to start. Solo homers for Hank Zeisler and Brendan Bobo. 3 home runs on the day now for Florence. After that Brent Blomquist 3-run home run. Called strike 3 outside corner. Marola really unhappy with that call. And it was very much in the zone, not even touching the Porter. But that is the 5th strikeout of the game for Gerard. Through 4 1/3 so far. Complete the second time to the lineup now with the shortstop, Keegan Calero. Pretty hard line out, his first time up. 1 out of the inning now. He goes after the first pitch. It fouls it back. Talking about the rich boxing history here in Brockton. It all came together when I started to hear the story because I keep seeing they call themselves the City of Champions. I see that's why. 0-1 punched foul into the first base seats. Campanelli Stadium here in Brockton is situated right next to Brockton High School. It's got a giant statue of Rocky Marciano right at the end zone. It's called Marciano Stadium. Oh, too low. They also have what looked like retired jerseys out in center field. 62 for Hagler, 49 for Marciano. I was wondering what that was before learning about the history. And obviously Marciano gets the number 49 because of his 49 wins. Hagler the 62 because of his 62 wins. Popped in the air, shallow right field. Bobo coming up, circling, now goes back. but he's got it for out number 2. A strikeout and a flyout to start the bottom of the 5th for Girard. And I did ask, just because I was curious, not actual numbers. Those are just the numbers of the wins for the 2 boxers. But yes, those numbers are actually retired for Brockton. They will not let anyone wear numbers 49 or 62 because of the number of wins for Marciano and Hagler. Top of the lineup, 3rd time for Austin White. 2 down, bottom of the 5th. Change up down the middle of the plate for a strike. Girard trying to make it 5 scoreless. He just threw his 66th pitch here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Got some left of the tank, especially if he can get out of the inning here. It's a 1-0 count on White. Now he serves one into left center. A sprint for Rushford. Got it. 1-2-3 inning for John Girard, his 3rd in 5 innings. A great start for him as we go to the 6th. It's 11-0 Yells on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Back here on the top of the 6th at Campanelli Stadium. To start the inning, Florence trainer Patrick McCormick taking a look at Akira Gok. I didn't see any sort of collision or tough contact that he took. This could be kind of like a dehydration issue. They're checking his eyes here after it is an extremely hot day here at Campanelli Stadium. Gok, the home plate umpire. Florence has had this crew a lot this season. And Gok is kind of pointing to his mask, so I think this might be a ball that he took to the mask that was like 3 innings earlier, I want to say. He walked it off and came back behind home plate and pretty immediately after it happened. But something may be lingering here in the game. It's McCormick looking at him. Brockton trainer to the top step over there on the third base side too. The dehydration thing was just a guess. Nobody's given him water yet, so I actually doubt that's what it is. But that's going to be it for him. I've seen this an odd amount of times this year. Akira Gok will head into the clubhouse and cannot finish this game, as Will Naleski will jog to the dugout and get some home plate gear. We've got a little bit of change up with the umpires. We'll go to another break and be right back on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Back here into Campanelli Stadium, we're going to have a switch in the umpiring alignment. Akira Gok, just as we were starting to get underway in the top of the sixth, asked for some assistance from the Florence trainer Patrick McCormick. He was pulled from the game a couple minutes later. So Will Naleski, who was in the field, the home plate umpire yesterday, in the field today, will go back behind home plate to call the balls at strikes. Miguel Cruz, the crew chief, the only base umpire moving forward. It's been a long one, 11-0 lead for Florence all over the rocks with Kyle Harbison leading things off 9-1-2 at the top of the sixth. For Florence, Tyler Thornton back out to the mound. A long time to sit for him. Came in to get the last out of the third inning. Gave up a couple of runs on some solo shots in the fifth. I should say he got out of the fourth, not the third. So an inning and a third for him so far with this long break. Also got to think affecting John Gerard a little bit more too, because Florence has had some longer innings. Gerard has been great, but he's had to sit for a while in this game. He's through 5 scoreless. Harbison turns on one foul, a ball, and a strike. In Game 3 of the series between Brockton and Florence, Florence just trying to avoid the sweep, and they're in really good position to do so right now into the sixth. 1-2 count here on Kyle Harbison. Brett Blomquist will bat in this inning. He's in the hole. 1-2's outside. He is looking for the cycle. 3 for 4 so far with a single, a double, a homer, 4 RBIs. 3 homers in the game for Florence. Zeisler, Bobo, Blomquist. This one's punched to the right side. A diving play at second and beautiful throw by Marola. All the way in the outfield grass. I had to take it and then hit the ground and get back up and throw over in time for out number 1 to retire Harbison. Brings up Milo Rushford for the 5th time already, just here in the 6th inning. He's already got 3 walks and he flied out to center. He's walked 5 times in the series now. He takes the first pitch, serves it into center for a base hit in front of White. Ball just dies in that outfield grass. Rushford's first hit of the day, the 11th hit for Florence. Up comes Brett Blomquist.
The second baseman, number 12, Brett Blomquist.
2 RBI double in the first, 3-run homer in the second. Single to lead off the 4th. He had another at-bat in that inning where he popped up to first. First batter that Tyler Thornton faced. Change up off the plate to him. It was a very quiet day here at Campanelli Stadium. Obviously not helped by not having much to cheer for. Fastball in on Blomquist at 2-0. Florence came into today trying to avoid the sweep, obviously. They haven't been swept much this year. Slider finds the middle of the zone here to Blomquist. Called a strike. 3-game sweep at home to Washington. 3-game sweep at Schaumburg, as well as a 2-game sweep to Joliet. 2-1 fastball misses again. Hitters count here for Blomquist with a runner on first and 1 out. And also that first sweep of the season when they visited Evansville. 3-1. Ball 4. Inside fastball. That one thrown at 90 from Thornton. Single for Rushford and a walk now for Blomquist. 2 back on. Hank Zeisler still chasing history, trying to become the Florence all-time doubles leader. Already got a home run in this game. It was his first hit, but he's walked and been hit by a pitch. So he's 1 for 2 with an RBI. That home run came against Thornton. First pitch connects on a fastball, 84 miles an hour. Thornton not a very hard thrower. The 90 I said, I think I read that wrong. Second highest fastball would have been about 85, what we've seen from Thornton in his couple of innings. Fastball off the plate again, 84. Count these 2-0. Sixth inning, let's do a little bit of this date in baseball history. Always brought to you by Furniture Fair. Style, comfort, value. That's the Furniture Fair promise. Go visit them online today at FurnitureFair.net or visit a showroom near you. Ball and a strike. Swing and a miss. Slicer goes down 1-2. Still trying to just time up that fastball again at 83. 1916, the Philadelphia A's ended their 20-game losing streak as Joe Bush beat the Tigers 7-1. 1-2, swing and a miss. Fastball went upstairs. You don't see Zeisler strike out much. 86 miles an hour up. That's the second strikeout for Thornton. 2 down in the inning now. Still with 2 on. It's Zade Richardson now. 1918, Reds manager Christy Mathewson suspects Hal Chase of taking bribes to fix games and suspends him for indifferent play. Chase will be reinstated and play for the Giants in 1919. Obviously, the Reds and the news around that time with some players, some scandals on the better side of the Black Sox scandal. First Reds World Series. Richardson leaves alone, a changeup on the outside. It's 2-0. 1939, Red Rolfe of the New York Yankees started a streak of 18 consecutive games in which he scored at least one run. During those games, he scored a total of 30 runs. Ridiculous. Slider outside again, 3-0. 1946, all Major League Baseball games, 4 in the American League and 4 in the National League, are played at night for the first time in Major League history. Now that's 4 days every week. 3-0, get me over pitch right down the middle of the plate. Make it 3-1 on Richardson. With Rushford at second, Blomquist at first. 2 outs in the inning. Top of the 6th. Florence 11-0 lead over Brockton. Kicks and fires the 3-1. Fastball, skied to center. Playable out there for White. Will go in front of the track and make the play for out number 3. Well, we had that delay at the beginning of the top of the 6th. Florence gets 2 on, but nothing across in the inning. Gerard back out for the bottom of the 6th. The Florence 11-0 lead. Frontier League Network, powered by HTM. John Gerard back out for the bottom of the 6th. 5 innings for him so far, just 2 Brockton hits. He's walked a pair of batters. He's struck out 5. He's got 2, 3, 4. Third time through here for Brockton. Derek Bender, the big power hitting catcher, takes a strike on the outside corner. Down 0-1. Now Gerard throws one in the dirt. Gerard, Seeker, and Giordano in the inning. 1-1, swing and a miss. Fastball blown by him. 11-0 lead for Florence here in the bottom of the sixth. Let's keep playing doing some more this day in baseball history. 1960, Ted Williams of the Boston Red Sox hit home run number 511 to tie Mel Ott for fourth place on the all-time list. Swing and a miss. Sixth strikeout here for Gerard. 87-mile-an-hour fastball down to the zone. Bender couldn't catch up to it. One down here in the sixth. Scott Seeker coming to the plate. 1963, Roger Craig's National League record-tying 18-game losing streak ends thanks to Jim Hackman's ninth-inning grand slam off Lindy McDaniel. First pitch in there, a strike to the designated hitter, Seeker. New York beats the Cubs 7-3. 18-game losing streak for a pitcher is ridiculous. Foul ball. Make it 0-2. Winds and fires the 0-2 pitch. Fastball outside. Seeker 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a fly out to right. Punches another one foul. Count of 1-2. 1975, Davey Lopez of the Los Angeles Dodgers stole his 32nd consecutive base without being caught in a 2-0 victory over the New York Mets. This ball is launched to right. Brendan Bobo all the way at the track. He's at the wall. He'll leap, and it's just out of his grasp. A solo shot for Scott Seeker breaks up the shutout for John Gerard. It's 11-1 Florence here in the bottom of the sixth. 87 off the bat. 337 on the distance. Opposite way for Seeker. Just the second home run of the series for Brockton. A solo homer for Derek Bender yesterday, and now this one from Seeker. Giordano grounds the first pitch he sees over to third. Broussard gloves and throws to first in time. 2 down in the inning now. Cuts the deficit to 10. And a game where both teams desperately needed their starters to give them some length. No matter what happens at this point, Gerard, I think, has done his job. And Jimmy Gillerin, the ace for the Brockton Rocks, could not. Didn't make it out of the fourth. Didn't even get an out in the fourth. Slider low to the lefty, Evan Slight. Rory did confirm that home run Slight hit off of him on what was supposed to be some great appearance. We're going to have to trust a baseball in his room. Because conveniently, apparently, the box score was on point streak, which is no longer in service. Fouled back behind home plate. All these dots starting to connect for Rory, I'm sure. Brockton Rocks was collegiate summer league team. Our broadcaster, Rory Teddemer, apparently faced him and had a really good outing, and Slight hit a homer off of him. The only blemish of a 3 2/3 outing. Fastball up 2-2. You guys will get Rory back on Tuesday. We've been asking for him. Fly to left. Milo Rushford coming up, and he's got it. Solo shot, first run of the game for Brockton, but John Gerard works around it. He is through 6. Really good one-run baseball. Florence leading by 10, going to the 7th on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Who's hang out pitching change for Brockton as we got to the top of the 7th. 11-1 lead for Florence. Another bottom end bullpen guy for Brockton will enter in the 7th. Tyler Thornton out, Michael Quigley in, making his 22nd appearance, a 12.32 ERA on the season. If you're looking for the perfect spot to relax and open your favorite baseball or Pokemon trading cards, visit former Reds reliever J.J. Hoover at Hooves Hangout today. 405 Washington Street, Suite D in Alexandria. 5, 6, 7 in the lineup. The first two face the righty Quigley. Brendan Bobo to start things off. First pitch, fastball inside. Brockton got their first run of the game on a Scott Seeker solo shot off John Gerard, who's now through 6 of one-run baseball on just 3 hits. Quigley, the 12.32 ERA. Opponents are hitting just .243 off of him. Giving up 4 homers. This ball's laced into right field, and a leadoff single for Brendan Bobo as Slight kind of misplayed it out there. I think it was going to drop in anyway. Leadoff runner on for Florence.
The third baseman, number 5.
22 walks and 22 strikeouts in the 19 innings pitched this season for Quigley. Here's Garrett Broussard with the runner on first. Nobody out. First pitch to the backstop. Bobo will jog to second. That might be the slowest jog I've seen from someone trying to take a base on a wild pitch. But there was no urgency from Brockton, so knew he could do it. Now worked himself into scoring position. Broussard, 2 RBIs today on a 2 RBI single. His 3rd RBI of the series. 1-0 again, bounces in the dirt. Broussard left it alone. 2 balls, no strikes. Excited to get back home. Another long homestand for Florence. Whether you're a fan that enjoys coming out to the games and just having fun, or whether you love the baseball and the wins and losses, specifically the wins. Last homestand was a great one for Florence. Did get affected a little bit by some rain. 2-0 fastball up and away. And went 7-0 on a 7-game homestand in just 6 days. 3 against Joliet, 4 against Gateway. It was the middle of that 11-game winning streak. (3-0) fastball low, a 4-pitch walk to Garrett Broussard. 2 on with nobody out of the inning. The first 2 batters that Quigley's faced. Up comes Marcus Brodell. It was also great for promotions. One of the best-selling nights of the year, Bluey Night, on Friday night. That was a hit. Florence got a great win there. A lot of fans in attendance, over 3,500. My family was in attendance for the first game. They had a great time. First pitch almost gets to the backstop again. Another good play by Bender up and away, who asked for a new baseball. And Saturday night was country night, and we did get one of these 7-inning doubleheader games in before the elements just really took control. That was an interesting one. Tornado warning in Florence. Fastball. This one is a wild pitch that gets to the backstop. Runners move up. Bobo to third, Broussard to second. Couple of wild pitches and then 2 very close ones. And just 10 pitches thrown for Quigley so far. Runners on second and third and nobody out. Florence leading 11-1. But we did give both those 7-inning games in on Sunday to complete the 4-game series against Gateway. Fastball fired in the dirt, and now it's 3-0 on Bobo after a 4-pitch walk. This would, I think, be the last pitcher you go to before position player time for Brockton. Maybe want to see if their offense has one more half inning in them. Get some runs. Get me over pitch down the middle of the plate. Quigley throwing that fastball at about 92 miles an hour, but again, it's just the command. That's been his struggle this year. Brodell's reached 3 times. Fastball up, a 5-pitch walk, bases loaded. Nobody out in the top of the 7th. Up comes the Brockton pitching coach to have a conversation with Quigley. Some fun promotions coming up this week, a 3-game series with Lake Erie and a 3-game series with Schaumburg. That Schaumburg one's going to be big. They're in first place of that West Division. Not that I think there's any sort of competing for any sort of spot between Florence and Schaumburg down the playoff stretch, but I think it's a good test to see where you are playing a playoff team for the first time in quite some time. You know, Florence playing great ball since the All-Star break, but they likely have not seen the team that will be in the playoffs, at least as it stands right now in that stretch. Dylan Baker with the bases loaded and nobody out. First pitch, strike, top of the zone. So 3 against Schaumburg this weekend. No morning games. It's all the usual time. 6:52 on Tuesday, 6:51 on Wednesday, 6:54 on Thursday. Changeup finds the zone, 0-2. 7:03 on Friday, 6:36 on Saturday on the 107. Family Sunday in Bark in the Park, first pitch. Rory Tedderman will be back on the mic alongside yours truly. Both of us in the booth. 0-2, foul tipped into the mid of Bender. Baker down on strikes with the bases loaded for the first out here in the 7th. Now Kyle Harbison will hit. Perfect split. 3 starts for Beadle. This 6-game road trip, 3 starts for Harbison behind the plate. First pitch in the dirt. Harbison certainly the better week at the plate. 3 for 5 in the first game of the series, and he had an RBI single in his 1 start against Sussex County on Wednesday. Quigley waiting for the 1-0 sign. Comes set, fires. This ball's punched out to right center field, and that will drop in, get cut off before the track. 1 scores, right around his tail is Broussard. 2 in on the 2 RBI single for Kyle Harbison. It's now 13-1 Florence. Top of the 7th. Brodell gets to third base on that. Still just 1 out in the inning. Brings up Milo Rushford. You're really interested to see what Florence does with John Gerard if they send him back out there for a 7th inning of work. He's had about 80 pitches, but he's been sitting for long periods. Not only you have the high-scoring innings for Florence, this is now their 5th multi-run inning of the game, but you also have the long delay when Akira Gok, the home plate umpire, had to exit some sort of injury. Cold strike on the outside corner to Rushford, 1-1. There's no one throwing for Florence, it doesn't look like right now, though. Fastball in the dirt. Good pick by Bender. Harbison at first. Brodell over at third. 1 out of the inning. Florence 13 runs on 13 hits today. Outscoring Brockton by 11, 13-1, 12. Geez, that's terrible math. They are out hitting Brockton by 10, 13-3. Comes home with a 2-1. That ball's hit out to left. Kretzler at the track. He's still going back, and he's got it over his head right in front of the wall. Brodell will score on a sac fly from Milo Rushford. Kyle Harbison back to first, make it 14-1 Florence.
Second baseman, number 12, Brett Blomquist.
Rushford now the 6th y'all with an RBI today. 4 from the man at the plate, Blomquist, 1 from Zeisler, 3 from Bobo, 2 for Broussard, now 1 from Rushford. 3 from Harbison as well. First pitch to Brett Blomquist, still looking for that cycle. It's 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs, single, double, and a home run. And he's reached on a walk. 1-0. It's punched down the right field line, high in the air, going towards out of play, and it does get out of play. That ball hit a mile in the sky. 85 off the bat. Harbison, the only runner on base now, will have to retreat. 2 outs. It's turned to an extremely quiet day here at Brockton. Really has all day. I think their promotion today was just one of their mascot, Champ's first birthday. Quigley fires the 1-1. Grounder foul down the third base side. 1-2 after the foul ball now. Champ and KO, the 2 Brockton mascots. Champ is the new one. It is his first birthday today. KO comes with Brockton back when they were a collegiate summer league team, so he's been around for a while. But Champ, I guess, just a baby. 1-2 fastball just outside. All 9 position players for Brockton started walking off the field. That pitch was not in there on strike zone. New man calling balls and strikes today. Will Naleski. Drew Kirikok exited after I think he took a ball to the face mask. 2-2 with 2 outs. Check swing, and he did go around. That's it for the 7th. 3 more for Florence in the inning. A 2-run single for Kyle Harbison and the sac fly from Milo Rushford. 14-1. Stretch time for Brockton on the Frontier League Network, powered by HDN. Bottom of the 7th. Just got done with stretch time from Campanelli Stadium. Game 6 of this 6-game road trip out east for Florence. Their last game against an Atlantic Conference team. And they are all over Brockton today. 14-1 lead as John Gerard will be back out for his 7th inning of work. Fastball, cold strike on the outside corner. I'll tell you what, no matter what happens in this inning, you're going to be happy with knowing the fact that this week, slider, outside swing, and a miss, you got 4 really good starts from 4 different starting pitchers. The rotation had been kind of up and down for Florence at different points in the season, and it's been getting better and better. Tuesday, Yannick Villalobos, 6 innings scoreless on 3 hits, struck out 7. 0-2 fastball up and away. Webster on Wednesday goes 5 1/3, a 3-run baseball, 6 hits, couple of walks, 6 Ks. Slider outside counts even at 2 here to Kretzler. And then Nate Lawson, following up his complete game, gives you 7 scoreless on 6 hits. This one hit a shallow right, awkward spot. Zeisler going back. He turns and he makes the play. Full 360 turn for Zeisler to track that down. He's got it for out number 1 of the inning. But yeah, 7 scoreless on 6 hits, couple of walks, 6 Ks for Nate Lawson. And then at this point right now for Girard, it's 6 1/3. Giving up the 1 run on the home run, just 3 hits, couple of walks, and he's got 6 Ks. So, pretty good stat lines for all 4 of those. And you also have 6+ strikeouts for all four of those guys: Villalobos, Webster, Lawson, and Girard. Fastball down the middle of the plate for a strike. Flowers looking like a mainstay in the rotation too. Still waiting to see an update on him. He exited yesterday's game in the 4th, hit on a line drive on the throwing arm. 1 in the zone, 1 slider out to Jock Thomas Wold. The Brockton first baseman with 1 out, nobody on. Fouls one off of his own foot. Go down to the count 1-2. Girard has stayed pretty efficient too. This is pitch number 89 coming up. Likely be his last inning. Florence didn't have a ton of options coming into today out of the pen, but they don't need many. Up by 13. This one's cranked high out to right. Bobo back at the wall. It's over his head and off the wall. Around first, Wold cruises into second, his second hit of the day. 1 out double. 4th hit that Girard is allowed. 2nd for extra bases. Up comes Nick Marola, the second baseman, getting his first start of the series. The runner on second. First pitch from Girard is inside. But again, with the 13-run lead and the 6 1/3 so far from Girard, you don't have to make up as much ground. Fastball up and away. Jet Lotus is definitely unavailable today. Logan Jones has been used 3 times this week. He's probably not going to be available. Danny Heinz has not pitched this series after pitching twice in Sussex County. Fouled back, still yet to give up a run for Florence in his 5 appearances. Aiden McAvoy, Will Karsten both go 2 innings apiece back on Fridays. You probably don't want to use them. Jake Lynch pitched yesterday. Not sure if he's available. Backdoor slider in there for a strike. 2-2 is the count. Again, other than that, I mean, Chase Hopewell potentially. He got the start on Friday, only went 2 1/3. This ball is served out deep to left. Milo Rushford running, but he's got it. Oh, no, he dropped it in front of the track. Runner was holding up at second. He'll now turn for home. A relay, a no throw into second base. This is the second ball of the series that hit off of Milo Rushford's glove in left field. It fell. They did not give him the error on Friday. We'll see what they do here as Zach Westcott's out to have a chat with John Girard. Well, they do give Florence an error here. Westcott making the mound visit. We've seen him do this with some of the younger pitchers. The pitching coordinator for Florence. Lefty warming up for the Alls. I think it's McAvoy based on his delivery. After, I guess it was technically an inning and 2/3 back on Friday. Didn't have to record a third out. He was the one who got walked off with 1 out of the inning. Technically an inning and 2/3 because the final play was a sacrifice fly that wasn't out. It's just a mound meeting. Westcott back to the dugout. Girard with the runner on second. 2 runs in on him now. That one will be unearned for now. Should have just been the second out. And he did reach without the air. So if there's a single, double, anything here, that might end up being an earned run. But the runner on base right now has no chance to be earned. Slider misses low on the first pitch to Keegan Calero, still with one out. Fastball up. The first one that Rushford dropped back on Friday was, one he had to come a long way for it. This one, Rushford will definitely tell you should have made that play. He's kind of settling under it. Maybe got a poor read on it. Fastball misses. It's now 3-0 from Girard. And that pitch count is starting to get up a little bit. This is 97 coming up from him. Florence to 14-2 lead in the bottom of the seventh. Give me over fastball down the middle of the plate for a strike. Brockton playing in the Atlantic Conference North Division. That's a 5-team division where 3 of them are the Canadian teams. 3-1 changeup down the zone. Counts full. So this is a team that just has a lot of travel. Got to go up to Canada to face Quebec, Trois-Rivières, Ottawa, Tri-City, and upstate New York. Payoff is swung at and grounded over to short. Dylan Baker double clutches and throws in time. Runner gets over to third, 2 down to the bottom of the seventh now. Here comes the Austin White, top of the lineup, 4th time today. White's 0 for 3. The All-Star and league leader at stolen bases have been kept off the base paths today. Talked a little bit about it yesterday. Just numbers. Extremely similar to Tyler Shaneyfield. You look at him, he's got a 290 batting average. First pitch, backdoor slider strike. He's got 1 home run. Shaneyfield's got the 2, but one of them is an inside the park home run, so only 1 out of the park home run. Shaneyfield's got 20-some doubles. There's 20-some RBIs, I should say, on the lower side of the 20s. White's got 25 as he grounds one over to second. Blomquist swallows, throws. Gets Girard out of the 7th. Probably it for Girard. What a start. 7 innings of 1 earned run baseball. And Florence has a 14-2 lead going to the 8th. On the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. The captain, Hank Zeisler, leads off after his 20th home run of the season. In this game, a solo shot. He's got 2 in the series, a 14-2 Florence lead. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it to the Florence dugout with Michael Quigley back on the bump. Quigley's gone an inning so far. 3 earned runs, couple of hits. Changeup misses outside to Zeisler, 1-1. This is funny. TrackMan has Quigley as sudden death pitcher A. Quigley's a pitcher. He's on the roster. He's pitched plenty of appearances this year. But we joke about sudden death pitcher A being a pitcher in the stat sheet in sudden death moments. But he's actually appeared in a 8th inning here. Ball and 2 strikes on Zeisler. Really hugging the line over at first base, Jack Thomas Wold. Changeup misses upstairs to make it 2-2. Check in on that Thornbush whiskey. Out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by iScore. Another update on the Evansville, Washington score. It's all Otters. They're up 7-0 into the 8th inning. Zeisler throws his bat out there and pops one into shallow left. Going over, Kretzler's got it on the run. Out number 1 of the inning. So, both of these games, Florence and Evansville, trending towards wins. As I think TJ Salvaggio just hit a 3-run home run. It's now 10-0 Otters. We'll stay tied, 46-32 if both of those teams hold on for the first wild card spot and the second place of the division. Boy, is that going to be a fun one down the stretch. 24 games left for both of them. They play each other one more series, 3 games. Evansville with the tiebreaker as of right now. They're 6-3 against Florence this year. Florence would need a sweep for it to get to the next tiebreaker. Quigley throws one in the dirt here to Richardson, 1-0. Mississippi and Schaumburg, there's no score in the bottom of the 4th there. Talked about Lake Erie getting the 15-4 win over Down East. Windy City finally started. They're up 2-1 in the 4th over Tri-City against the Valley Cats. 1-0 fastball in the dirt again. Sussex County trailing by 4 to New York on the top of the 9th. They're down to their last 2 outs, but they have the bases loaded, so we'll keep an eye on that. Trois-Rivières getting the win over Ottawa 2-0. Fastball up this time, 3-0. Joliet and Gateway getting underway in just a moment or so. And then New Jersey and Quebec, forgot to mention that one. High scoring already. The Jackals the 5-3 lead over the Capitale in the 3rd. 3-0 green light pitch way out of the zone. Richardson swung and missed. But it's a 14-2 game. You can have a little bit of fun there. Pitch was pretty low. Richardson is still looking for his first hit today. Doesn't have any of Florence's 13. Three-one off speed in there for a strike. Counts now full. Looks like Aiden McAvoy continuing to warm for Florence. If you trust my eyes, I know it's a lefty, and the delivery looks like McAvoy. That is 10. I know I saw it. If it's not McAvoy, I'll die on that hill. Payoff pitch gets to the backstop, and the dirt bounced up there. A walk for Richardson. 14-2 lead for Florence here in the top of the 8th. Brendan Bobo coming to the plate now.
The right fielder, number 3, Brendan Bobo.
Sussex County got that second out. Should I say, New York got the second out without a run coming home to score. So base is still loaded, still down by 4 there. Swing and a miss for Brendan Bobo. Richardson over at first and 1 out. Bobo behind a fastball to make it 0-2. 3 against Lake Erie at home, 3 against Schaumburg at home before the final 6-game road trip of the season comes the next week. Again, going to Lake Erie, but that's when that Evansville series comes. Have it circled 2 weekends from now at Bosse Field. Bobo chased breaking ball low. He's down on strikes for the second out from Quigley. 2 down, top of the 8th now for Garrett Broussard. After that, play Lake Erie again for 3 at home. And Washington comes into town for 3 final games. I think that was the silver lining for Florence, was when you started to get a little bit of that rough stretch, probably playing your worst baseball of the year just before the All-Star break. Break couldn't have come at a better time. First pitch in there, strike to Broussard. You knew that you'd already have played 9 of your 12 games against both Evansville and Washington, who, in my opinion, are 2 of the best teams in the league. I mean, I don't think there's much debate right now. At least the records show 4 best teams in the league. Washington running away with the Midwest, Quebec running away with the Atlantic, and then tied for the 3rd best record in the league right now are Florence and Evansville. You probably throw Schaumburg in there. I think there's no question those are the 5 best teams in the league this year. Schaumburg's just been hot, had a lot of injuries early. 0-1, fastball kept in front. Richardson stays at first base. Might have been able to get to second, but no action. Broussard stands back in for the 2-1. A lot of credit to the fans that are still here. It seems like it's been about the same number from first pitch to now. Another fastball way outside and in the dirt, and a good block again by Bender, who's just had to work all day behind the plate. He had 3 innings of 7-run baseball for Gillerin, 2/3, 2 runs for Smith. Get me over pitch, middle of the zone, counts full. Thornton goes 2 innings and a third, 2 runs himself. Quigley, who they have listed as sudden death pitcher A, is now an inning and a 2/3 into this one, giving up 3 earned runs. Richardson will be off 3-2 with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Does it for the top of the 8th. Scoreless one for Florence, still leading 14-2 on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Here comes Derek Bender. Bottom of the 8th, Florence leads 14-2, looking for just one win in this series against Brockton. Salvage a game in the 3-game series. Complete a successful 4-2 road trip out east. You knew, Florence has not played on the well on the road this season, and it's just tough travel. First pitch is a fastball inside for a Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken pitching change, the first of the game for Florence. Gerard's done. With a new wing coming into the game, you can pick up the best wings in the tri-state area at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Aidan McAvoy has not pitched in many of these situations. Been Florence's closer for the better part of the season, and he leads the league in saves. He will come in with a 12-run lead in the 8th inning. Already pitching 2 innings back on Friday. Misses on a fastball out, 2-0 to start Bender, 2-3-4. It's not a matter of trying to secure the win as much as it is just not having a lot of guys available. McAvoy was one of the only guys up for today. Swing and a miss on that slider. Danny Heinz, will either come in for the 9th or he will not pitch in this series. He is the last Florence pitcher that has not pitched on the weekend, outside of the 3 starters that threw last week, or this week, middle of the week. Foul back for Bender, 2-2 count to start this bottom of the 8th. Florence, pair of runs in the first, they got 3 in the second, 4 in the fourth to take a 9-0 lead early. 2 more on a couple of solo shots in the 5th, 11-0. Brockton has scored 1 in each of the last 2 innings. Florence 3 more in the 7th, puts it at 14-2 right now, out hitting Brockton 13-4. Bender fouls 1 back, counts even at 2. Trying to finish this off and get a long bus trip started home. About 15 hours, I'm hearing. Get in tomorrow morning. 2-2 check swing up. Also, I don't know what the new situation is. The bus, one half of the bus, like all the seats, I think it was on the right side, the fans are not working, like the air vents. So it's been really hot. Payoff pitch is foul back. They might have been fixed just before today's trip. I didn't notice it on the bus ride here. I know there was talk of us getting a new bus about 10 hours away from home when they do the driver transfer. I'm not sure. Boy, I hope they figure out a solution there. Payoffs fouled out back. Would have been ball 4. Punched opposite way. We'll get to see how much I could possibly sleep in a bus seat. Another payoff. Way outside. First batter. McAvoy faces. Long walk here for Bender. Seeker coming up to the plate. Hit that solo home run in his last plate appearance.
The designated hitter, number 32, Scott Seeger.
McAvoy 2 innings back on Friday. He was the one that gave up the loss, but it was in the bottom of the 10th with the automatic runner starting at second. His line was an inning and 2/3 of 1 hit, 1-run baseball. The run should not be earned, I believe. It shouldn't be an earned run for him. He walked the batter, he struck out 2. No homers. 7 batters faced. Also, probably going to get an update on Milburn's line after he has 8 earned. I think it's more like 3 or 4 earned. Harbison will go out and talk with McAvoy. Zeisler coming over too. Don't see many mound meetings just between the players here for Florence. Coaching staff letting it go. They haven't needed really any mound meetings today. You saw one with Zach Westcott there in John Gerard's final 7th inning, which, by the way, here's his line. He was great today. 7 innings of 1-run baseball. 1 earned, I should say. Did have 1 unearned. on 4 hits and a couple of walks. He struck out 6. You move in to the last 4 weeks of the season. Again, I just talked about it last inning. Feeling good about, potentially all 5 starting pitchers if you go Blowers and Girard on the back of that rotation. Bender takes off for second, pitches in the dirt. It's now a 2-0 count on Seeker. McAvoy just trying to find the zone after a leadoff walk. We are now well over the 3rd hour of this game. Not through the 8th yet. See an umpire injury and an umpire change. Will Naleski calls the balls and strikes now. That caused a long delay. McAvoy throws the 2-0, fouled back. All that can happen in this game now for me is to get a foul ball up in the press box. I've been waiting for one. Got my glove ready. Slider misses again. 3-1 here on Seeker. Popped in the air. Third baseline. Gets up and out of play, foul. So again, it lines up Villalobos, Webster, Lawson. If they keep the rotation on Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday, against Lake Erie that is limping to this point of the season. Front door slider misses on the payoff. Back-to-back walks from McAvoy. 2 runners on with nobody out in the inning.
The third baseman, number 12, Evan Giordano.
Florence is only 1-2 against Lake Erie this year. Their record sits at 31-46 after today's win. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. Evan Giordano with 2 on, nobody out. First pitch to him is inside. McAvoy's down thrown 9 balls and 14 pitches of this inning. Just need to get the outs, leading by 12 at the bottom of the 8th. Check swing, cold strike in there. Harbison has trouble with it behind the plate. It will be interesting to see what Florence does with the roster once they get home. They get any reinforcements. See if they put Jackson Tucker on the inactive list. Shaney Felt might get an IL stint. Fastball high to Giordano. But this will likely be the core moving forward. You have Rushford leading off, Brodell playing center. Fastball evens the count up at 2-2 down the middle of the plate. Bullpen starting to get a little more confidence in them. They had a really good 3-game series out in Sussex County. 2-2 check swing, did not go. Slider misses low. We have another full count on back-to-back batters. McAvoy trying to avoid walking the first 3 batters he sees as a righty warms for Florence. And what I would assume is Heinz. Can't see all the way out there. I guess Karsten could be available today too. Punched out to right. Medium depth, Brendan Bobo up to play. He's got it. Hard, aggressive slam with a bat for Giordano. 1 down here in the 8th.
The right fielder, number 27, Evan Slight.
Now Evan Slight from not far away. Here in Massachusetts, about an hour in Framingham, Massachusetts. Started his college ball at Rutgers. 2 on. First pitch into left center. Brodell coming up. So is Rushford. That drops in front of Rushford. And the runner will come around to score as Reshford can't handle it. On one hop, hits his glove. One more comes around to score for Brockton. RBI single there. I don't think Reshford gets an error there. Makes it 14-3, cuts deficit to 11. That wasn't a crazy misplay by anything. The run probably would not have come to score, but it was just a one hop that hit his glove and then had to drop and go back and pick it up. Tommy Kretzler, station to station a little bit. Seeker gets to second. He fouls the first pitch off down the first base line. So Seeker at second, Slight at first now. Kretzler at the plate. So 31-46 for Lake Erie. Just half a game up of Mississippi. Fastball popped up, out of play again, 0-2. As Lake Erie got handled by Sussex County, who Florence just swept. The Boomers swept the Crushers in a series where it looked like Lake Erie had no life. Still trying to just get some more consistent offense, I think, up there in Avon. 0-2 front door slider misses. Makes it 1-2. 2 on, 1 out. Brockton trailing by 11 here in the bottom of the 8th. Probably be McAvoy just getting these last couple outs, and then whoever that righty is warming up coming in. That one's outside. Looked pretty good on track, man. That one's close. Guess we're not getting those in an 11-run game. Ball and 2 strikes. Grounder, foul off of the foot of Kretzler. Do it again. Lawrence scored first, didn't look back. RBI double and a sac fly in the first inning. And then Brett Blomquist launched a 3-run homer in the second. Fourth spot of the fourth gave Florence a 9-0 lead, put it out of reach early. 1 run in each of the last 3 innings for Brockton, including this one. But Florence added on 5 since then to make it 14-3. Kretzler down 1-2. Fouls another one back. Really good AB. Florence can use this off day. Crazy travel this week. You had the 7-game week last week. Couple of 7-game weeks going into the All-Star break. We saw how much rest helped them. Now 1-2 again. Slider too far off the plate. Swing and a miss. Slider downstairs. McAvoy gets his first strikeout of Tommy Kretzler. 2 down in the inning now. Brings up Wold. Sussex County could not score in that bottom of the 9th, or top of the 9th. New York's at home. Ends up dropping that game 5-1. Tristan Harley's second straight loss. Harley was the one who gave up 1 run in 6 innings against Florence and got the loss after Florence took home the 1-0 win. They won games in that series 1-0, 5-3. That was in 10 innings. And 4-1. First pitch to Wold is inside. Came into the week with an 8-game winning streak. That was 11 straight after the sweep. Dropped the first in a barn burner to Brockton this series on Friday, 11-10 in extras. This one's popped up on the infield. Right side, Zeisler and Blomquist both over. Hank Zeisler's got it to end the 8th. Florence up by 11. Last turn with the bats. When we come back on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Hooves hang out pitching change, top of the ninth for Brockton. Already out of this game. It's 14-3. But they will call on their all-star closer, Brendan O'Donnell, who threw in the first game of the series and dominated Florence. Faced seven batters in a tie game. The 7th, 8th, and 9th. Sat down all 7, completed 2 1/3. Marcus Brodell, the first batter he faces here in the 9th. Front door slider called a strike after a fastball in the dirt. 1-1's the count. O'Donnell had been great this year. He was named the All-Star as Brodell pops one into left, but that's going to drop in after a diving left fielder. Kretzler can't make the play. Throw back in, comes in. Brodell thought about second. He goes back into first to lead off single. Little bit of a bloop there for Brodell. Actually, harder than I thought. 81 off the bat. Never mind. Runner on here in the 9th. First Florence batter that O'Donnell has allowed to reach this series. Now Baker. Fastball called, a strike on the outside corner. When O'Donnell was cruising after the All-Star break, he just got used a lot. Ended up with actually a pretty tough appearance the last time that Jimmy Gillerin, today's Brockton starter, got a start. This one's popped into foul territory. Wold over at first base. He drops it at foul territory. Gives Baker new life in the AB. But he gave up 8 earned runs in a couple of innings. to blow Gilleran's lead. It was just a 4-inning start for Gilleran, but he only gave up 2 runs. They ended up losing that game. That was back to Ottawa last week. Actually, that was earlier this week on Tuesday. Then he kind of figured things out back on Friday. Counts 0-2 after the foul balls to Baker. Brodell at first, nobody out. Check swing, he went around. Baker down on strikes for the second time today.
The catcher, number 11.
That third today. 0 for 5. Him and Richardson, the only Florence hitters without a base hit today. Harbison's got 2 of them and a 2 for 4 day. Punches the first pitch foul with Brodell standing at first base. So the streak will come to an end of 7 straight series won for Florence, but they will salvage a game in the series. And still, as long as they hold on, move to 18-4 since the All-Star break. Still an unbelievable mark. Still with the only 4 losses being by 1 run. That one gets away and gets to the backstop. Brodell moves up to second. 2 of those being on walk-offs. One at the bottom of the 9th, one at the bottom of the 10th. The other being on a sac fly in the 8th for Brockton last night. It was one of the others. And then the last one was when they went into the 9th, tied against Gateway back at home. McAvoy gave up a solo homer to Bryson Horn. Gateway would go on to win that one by 1. 1-1 slider misses in. Harbison ahead now, 2 balls and a strike. Offense looks back to that Florence offense we know and love. 2 games scoring double-digit runs in this series. And a total of 31 runs as it stands right now in the 3 games. After just 10 against Sussex County, where they did sweep. Pitching was great. O'Donnell long hold before the 2-1. Swing and a miss for Harbison. It was actually a 2-2. Harbison down on strikes, back-to-back Ks to the 8 and 9 hitters for O'Donnell. Righty does continue to warm for Florence. Again, I think it's either Karsten or Heinz based on just the pure height out there. Two of the taller guys on the team. Didn't bring my binoculars today. 2 outs, runner on second for Rushford. Brodell got to second on that play, by the way. I think it's Karsten. Don't quote me on it, but that's just my best guess right now. Come out to get the 9th. Again, he and McAvoy both threw 2 innings, so each of them just getting 1 inning of work most likely. Sunday's game. 1-1 on Rushford. Slider in the zone for a strike. Good to see him okay today. After taking that 93-mile-an-hour fastball straight on the foot yesterday. Not even bounced up and hit his foot. No, it was straight down off the foot. Did stay into the game to pinch run. Your pinch run options last night would have been Harbison or a pitcher. Slider to the backstop. Brodell stays put at second. Counts 1-1. I think this one 1-2 as well. Scoreboard operator falling asleep a little bit. It's a long game. We are now at 3 hours and 26 minutes of game time. Of a game that's not going to go into extras. Still have to play the bottom of the 9th, too. Swing and a miss on the 1-2. O'Donnell strikes out the side after the Brodell leadoff single at the top of the 9th. Lords try to close it out, get a win here in Brockton, and complete a winning road trip. And the bottom of the 9th, we'll be right back on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Bottom of the ninth, not a save opportunity. It's Will Karsten who will take the mound for Florence on another Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken pitching change. With a new wing coming into the game, you could pick up the best wings in the tri-state area at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. 8-9-1 in the inning for Brockton. Florence try to close things out, take it home. A 14-3 lead here in the bottom of the ninth. Marola will start us off with a single, though, through the left side on a line drive and a grounder. Another righty is warming up for Florence. I don't know if it's kind of just like throwing a bullpen a little bit, or there's a chance he could come into the game. Obviously, Carson just needs 3 outs to get the win. Keegan Calero, the 9-hitting shortstop, will get likely his last plate appearance of the series. First pitch chopped to the left side. Broussard charges at third, throw to first, got him. Runner gets to second. No chance for the double play. First out of the ninth as Marola gets to second. Back to the top of the lineup. And a pinch hitter for Brockton. Austin White does not come up. Looks like that's Greg Cristino will hit for him. Just 10 plate appearances. He's 5 for 10 in those 10 plate appearances. A couple of doubles and an RBI. 1 out, 1 on. Fastball called strike on the outside corner. This will be another one that looks pretty for the run differential for Florence if you're into that kind of thing. Grounder to the right side this time. Blomquist cannot field it. Off the heel of his glove and above him. Runner will charge for home. It'll score. 4th run here for Brockton. 1 run in the last 4 innings of this game. The 6th to the 9th. Now they make it 14-4 on the air over at second. 2 of these 4 runs should be unearned. Not sure exactly how they're going to score it. Unless there's a base hit here, it probably would be earned. But if there's not a base hit here, it will not be. Bender with 1 out, a runner on first. Slider off the plate for ball 1. This score holds. 10-run win for Florence. Margin of victory goes up to 62. A run differential, I should say. Fastball called, strike outside corner. 1-1. Scoreboard operator here in the stadium's having a really tough time. Kicks and fires. Popped up, foul. Ten-run lead putting Florence at 62 in the run differential. Would look pretty again. Just 4 one-run losses for Florence since the break. Only 4 losses. Go up to 18-4 now. Don't have to see the Atlantic Conference anymore. Swing and a miss. Karsten gets a strikeout. Fastball put inside. Bender went after it. 2 gone in the inning now. That will be an unearned run because that out should have ended the inning. Brockton down to the last out. It will be Scott Seeker, who started the series off outstanding. The MVP of Game 1. 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs. Leaves a first pitch fastball outside. Brockton couldn't get that small ball going today. John Gerard was spectacular. 7 innings of 2 run, only 1 earned. Work today. Fastball popped up. Shallow left, should do it. Baker out, in comes Rushford. And Rushford's got it for out number 3. Florence picks up a win here in Brockton. That completes a successful winning road trip out east. They go 4-2 on the road trip. They do drop the series to Brockton, but they get the last win here on Sunday and improve to 46-32 on the season. And John Gerard gets the win for Florence today. Loss is going to go to the Brockton ace, Jimmy Gillerin, who Florence just got to early. 7 earned runs on 3 innings. Came out for the 4th but couldn't get out of it. Gave up 5 hits and 5 walks without striking out a batter. Everyone contributed offensively today for Florence. But the Stars, a 4 for 5 day for Brendan Bobo with 3 RBIs. And of course, Brett Blomquist 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs, a triple shy of the cycle. Allowed a walk did walk and struck out. Homer from Zeisler, homer from Bobo, and a homer from Blomquist. Only hitless days for Florence were off the bats of Dylan Baker and Zade Richardson. Couple of 1-run losses, 11-10 in extras, 8-7 yesterday, and Florence will end up winning the run differential, total runs on the series against Brockton with this 14-4 win today. Again, 46-32 their record. Back home this next week, Lake Erie for 3 Tuesday through Thursday, and then Schaumburg comes into town for 3 on the weekend. Appreciate everyone tuning in this weekend and this whole week. Once again, been Ben Haller alongside with you guys. Rory Teddemer getting a week off. He will be back in the booth on Tuesday. Both of us will be there for that homestand. Excited to bring you more Florence Yells baseball on the Frontier League Network, powered by HTN. Appreciate everyone having some fun in the comment sections and doing some stuff in the YouTube comment section. Stephen Gregg, Sergeant Bilko, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you all week long. But 14-4, Florence takes it. 4-2 on the road trip. Back on Tuesday, but for tonight, you all have a good night.